We welcome you to Minute Maid Park, where tonight the Houston Astros kickstart a 3-team, 9-game homestand with the first of 3 against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Brad Peacock will be on the mound tonight for the Astros. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum as we get ready for this long homestand. Blummer, we had a long homestand prior to that last trip. That last trip went very well, but now it's nice to be back home.
It was exhausting. They played extremely well, going 8-2 on that road trip, but I'm sure these boys are glad to be back. I know that I am. It's going to be fun.
Let's talk about that road trip, an 8-2 trip, and the offense really showed up big.
The offense did a great job, but what we saw was these guys really putting together great at-bats. We talked to a couple people within the organization, and they actually were talking about how this lineup is relentless, and I kind of made the joke, could you imagine being the opposing starting pitcher going into some of these meetings and talking about this Astros lineup? 1 through 9, they have put together some unbelievable at-bats, and it's led to those fantastic numbers we saw on the road. 8.5 runs in a 10-game stretch is truly a remarkable feat. But you got guys mixing in. Jake Barysic is going to get an opportunity. Springer with the day off today. So a lot of fun to watch these guys go out there and do damage, especially late in games.
Altuve led the way in a 5-run 9th inning last night. Carlos Correa with his first triple of the season as the Astros won that game 6-1 to split the series and finish 8-2 on the road trip. And there you see, going back to even before the road trip, the Astros are on a nice run right now.
Real nice run. 3 batters in that top 11 in the American League in hits, but there was also 4 guys, almost 6 guys, I think, that were hitting 385 or better. Carlos Correa with that great month of May, so a lot of these things are going very well for the Houston Astros, looking to continue it here at home where the numbers have been a little bit different.
Scored 5+ in the last 11 games. It's been over 10 years in the Major League since that happened. Coming up, we'll get you ready for the Astros taking on the Angels tonight. We'll have plenty more as we roll on from Minute Maid Park right after this.
At Minute Maid Park, hosting the Angels to start this weekend series at Star Wars night on this beautiful Friday night. And the force is always with Jose Altuve, isn't it? He was a road warrior once again for the Astros, hit that home run in the 9th yesterday to give them the lead and eventually the win. He did it all road trip. He's done it really all season on the road. He leads the league in batting average on the road, .416. What an incredible clip for him. You're looking at his numbers from the road trip, though. The team going 8-2, the .439 average, a couple of homers, scoring 9 runs, driving in 7. We've seen him do it all year, really all of his career. How well he does in ballparks away from Minute Maid Park helps this club do a great job and come away with a lot of wins before coming back to their home ballpark, which is where they are now. Numbers a little bit different for Altuve for some reason when he steps into this ballpark. We've been trying to figure it out because check out the split. 237 at home in 30 home games versus the .416 average away from home. Look at the strikeouts and the walks. The strikeouts for some reason are up right here in Houston. The walks are down, but on the road does a much better job. He is well aware of this. He's actually told us that he lets the ball travel a little bit more at home. He did talk about the Crawford boxes here at home being a little enticing. So it's something that Altuve has been working on in different ways. He's actually been seeing breaking balls off of a machine in batting practice. Anything he can do to become just as good of a hitter right here at home as he can on the road. And he's tired of answering questions about it too. He did tell us that he's going to hit at Minute Maid Park. You will see. So just get ready for that. Brad Peacock will be on the mound tonight as he hopes to get the winning ways going for the Astros right here at home. They'll have more on the right-hander when we get back.
On Root Sports is presented by Shoppers Farm Supply, your John Deere dealer along the Gulf Coast. Come by one of our 8 area locations, shop us all things John Deere. And by Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide, that's transparency. You can't tell, it's Star Wars night here at Minute Maid Park on this Friday night, big and bright Friday night with Brad Peacock on the mound facing this lineup for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Just activated before the game and thrust right in the top spot of the lineup. Cameron Maybin in center field, Cole Calhoun in right. Albert Pujols is the DH, Yunel Escobar in the cleanup spot. Luis Valbuena, the former Astro, hits 5th. Andrelton Simmons is a shortstop, Martin Maldonado, Eric Young Jr. in left field, and Danny Espinosa.
On the mound for your Houston Astros, you're looking at some Brad Peacock. He has done very well out of the bullpen to begin this season, but with some of these injuries in the rotation, he has worked himself into that rotation and pitched extremely well. Sunday, he beat the Rangers. Great numbers against them. He is continuing to rack up the strikeouts. As a matter of fact, in a minimum of 3 starts, He has the most Ks per 9 innings. He's at 15 right now. He got 8 punch-outs against those Texas Rangers. It's been a very good combination of fastball, being well located, but he's done a great job of going to that slider. It's almost as if he's a 2-pitch pitcher, even though he does have a curve and a changeup as a backup plan if he needs it.
See the numbers this year. They are very effective for Peacock. He really came out of the gate strong out of the bullpen. Earned a chance to get a spot start. Did so well in that spot start against the Tigers. Here he is making his 4th start of the season. And you're right, Plummer. That slider has been a big equalizer this year, throwing it more than he ever has. Last year he threw it the highest percentage of his career. He's even escalated that this season. We're underway on a Friday night. Glad you could join us for the first of 3 against the Angels. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum and Julie Morales down near the Astros dugout. Angels in town for 3, Rangers in town for 3. Then an off day and Boston comes in town for the final 3 games of this 9-game homestand. Already see the Star Wars themes on the big board.
Nice.
Cameron Maben is not decked out on the big board in his normal Angels gear.
That's his Kylo Ren outfit.
I am so glad you're here tonight.
I'm here to help.
You are going to dominate this broadcast. 2-1 pitch, or 1-1 pitches outside. It's 2-1. We may have a special guest in our booth, Star Wars related, at some point tonight.
We'll talk analytics with somebody from Star Wars. That'd be great.
There's a strike, says Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire. It's 2-2. Maben had been dealing with an oblique injury, and he was not in the original lineup, but he tested it out before the game and said, hey, I don't need to wait anymore. Put me in there. And Scioscia does. Mike Scioscia does, and he leads them off. On the ground, weird hop, knocked down, and Maben is safe. That took a very funky hop on Marwin Gonzalez, who is back in the lineup tonight, who hadn't played since Monday. And Maben lives.
That was not your standard hop. I was actually pretty impressed that Marwin kept that ball in front of him. Good look at on our Mattress Firm Supermo. Off the end of the bat, kind of creates a little sideways spin, but you see it going to his right. It bounced back to his, or going to his left, bounced back to his right. And he turned into a hockey goalie and knocked it down. Tough break on a good pitch by Brad.
Maben hit it off the end of the bat and created so much spin that it caused an issue for Marwin Gonzalez. So that's a base hit. Here's Cole Calhoun. That ball's hit high in the air and deep. Josh Reddick all the way back to the wall, and he makes the play in front of the track. In front of the wall, on the track. Right in front of the Root Sports sign in right field. Calhoun did not miss a home run by much.
Did he fall victim to an open roof? Wind swirling around in here, but that ball was struck pretty well by Cole Calhoun, ambushing that first pitch. But the way that Josh Reddick was going after it too, he kept running back, checking that wall, wondering if he was going to have to go scaling up that thing. Luckily, it fell short.
How about that? The roof opened tonight, 14th time this year.
This is really weird.
I was told that June 9th, usually you don't see the roof open.
No. Running for cover that time of year here in Houston, but it's relatively mild.
Maben running, makes it into second base without a throw. He had a good jump. McCann did not transfer cleanly. Not sure if it would have mattered. Cameron Maben with his 14th steal of the year, which ties him for the American League lead.
Good jump. McCann couldn't get the handle, but I don't think he would have had him to begin with.
Pitch to Albert Pujols. Misses outside, is 2-0. Pujols owns all the home run marks against the Astros here at Minute Maid Park and overall against Houston with a total of 55. 29 in this stadium. Maben tying both Gerard Dyson and Elvis Andrus are the 3 leaders in stolen bases with 14, all in the American League West. Now up high, it's 3-0. Pujols joined a club of just 3. Hank Aaron and Barry Bonds, who have hit 600 home runs and also have 600 doubles in their career. And the 3-0 pitch is outside, ball 4. Base was open. Was that Peacock maybe not giving in?
This is a much different lineup without Mike Trout in it, so there might be an opportunity to pitch around and let Albert Pujols turn into a logjam on the base paths by walking him and attack Yunel Escobar.
Escobar was more of a top-of-the-order guy for Mike Scioscia last year and this year, but he's been tinkering with some things since Trout's injury. Normally you'd see Trout 3, Pujols 4, but now Pujols moves up a spot. Escobar getting a chance to bat in the cleanup spot. He was activated a little more than a week ago, coming back from the DL with a left hamstring strain. He came back from the DL just a couple of days after the Angels lost Mike Trout, out with a left thumb ligament injury. Fortunately, game's brightest star on the DL for the Angels, so the Astros won't see him in this series, may not see him the next time around by the time they get back to Anaheim. There goes the runner. McCann didn't even see him, I don't think, because he was late in making the throw, and Maben gets into third. He now leads the American League in steals with his second of this inning and his 15th on the season.
It was a little bizarre, wasn't it?
I think Escobar shielded McCann.
He must have, but play right in front of him. But you could see with that big lead, McCann never really picked up where Maben was going.
Escobar was ducking down early, but McCann just never saw it in his peripheral.
Sometimes, too, when you get a guy like Maben who steals bases and the trail runner is somebody who doesn't, sometimes there'll be communication in the fact. The only reason I'm saying this is because on that replay I saw McCann look towards second base as if Pujols was going to be the caboose in that double steal, but he wasn't.
At a conference on the mound now as Brad Peacock has issued back-to-back walks and back-to-back 4-pitch walks. This is unusual to see. Brad Peacock really had a pretty good command of the plate this season.
He really has turned into a high strikeout guy, and on the season in 31 and a third innings he had 14 walks and 47 strikeouts, so that's a pretty good ratio. But he's got himself in a bit of a jam here.
He has never walked more than 2 in any outing, including his 3 starts. But he's walked back-to-back here, and the bases are loaded, and he misses again. This to Valbuena, Luis Valbuena, the Astro from 2015 and 16. Just 16 for 98, started the year on the DL for the Angels, but Peacock struggling with his fastball command early on. There is a strike. And we anticipate big crowds this weekend. The Friday night crowd still arriving tonight, but by the end of the night we should see this stadium mostly filled up. They finally had something to cheer about there after a couple of walks. And that's on the outside corner, 1-2. Valbuena said he can't hit the plate for 2 straight batters, and now 1 on the edge I'm going to get against me. Maben on third, a couple of steals. Pujols on second, Escobar on first. Peacock could use a strikeout here. See, he really has been throwing strikes much better as a starter. First strike percentage this year much higher than it was last year for Peacock. 67.8% this year, 59.1% last year. Guy who throws almost 70% first pitch strikes has struggled in this first inning with the zone. Three starters in this series for the Astros. Peacock tonight, Mike Fiers tomorrow, and David Paulino on Sunday. Valbuena staying alive with 2 strikes. Astros shift Valbuena, so Correa just on the first base side of second base. Peacock can't pick up the strikeout. They wouldn't mind a ground ball towards Altuve. Down and in, 2-2. Last start, Brad struck out 9 in 6 innings against the Rangers. Longest outing of the season. He had been building up his pitch count since coming out of the bullpen. 70, 78, and then 86. But a high pitch count here in the first inning of this game. He's already at 21 with just 1 out in the inning. Tried to hold up. Ooh. He does. Says Bill Miller. And the count's full.
I thought he went. Good pitch by Brad. Heck of a job by Valbuena, laying off at a couple of tough sliders down. You be the judge at home. Armchair ump rings him up. That went around. Call doesn't go the Astros' way.
All 4 bases loaded walk scores the first run of the game. Angels lead 1-0. 3 consecutive walks by Peacock, who has now walked more in this 1 inning than he has in any other appearance this season.
It's a shame too. The first 2 walks, got wild, but he actually regrouped and did a good job of battling against Valbuena and got the check swing for a strikeout. The only problem is he didn't get any help from the third base umpire, Bill Miller.
A.J. Hinch was asked before the game if his bullpen's back in good order after last night, and he said, not really. 24 hours doesn't all of a sudden fix a bullpen. And Lance did his work to keep the bullpen rested as much as he could. Only Will Harris in the 8th and Chris Davinsky in the 9th were needed, but there's still a lot of guys who you may not see tonight. Some of those fans are thinking, we need to get in there.
Yeah, they do.
It's already the first inning, and there's a run scored. The bases are loaded.
Bring a cup of coffee for Bill Miller, too.
Here's Andrelton Simmons. See what he has done in his last 6 games. He's also hitting .333 in the last 26. He was originally the leadoff hitter in this game before Socha adjusted his lineup when Cameron Maybin was added. Simmons has done a better job of cutting down on his strikeouts and putting the ball in play. And in the process, he's hitting .276 with 6 home runs.
Usually very, very aggressive early in counts, too.
On the ground towards third. Bregman's going to come home. They get the force there, and it was dropped. McCann tags the plate. This has not been as smooth an inning as you would like. You saw a little cue shot that found its way off of Marwin Gonzalez's hand for a single. 3 walks, and now this play.
Could have gone the other way, the traditional way with the 5-4-3, but Bregman choosing to go home. Locked up McCann as it clinks off his glove, but still aware enough to pick it up and tag home plate to get that lead out, keep the run off the board.
He played a lot of third base. You have to make that decision before the ball's hit, pretty much, or as the ball's coming to you. You have to know.
Yeah, you have a good idea of the base runners that are out there. And I'm not sure if Alex maybe felt that he couldn't turn that double play with Simmons running to first, so he opted to make sure that that run did not stay on the board. personally, I would have gone 5-4-3. Try and get my pitcher out of that inning.
Here's Martin Maldonado. He's been good in his career against the Astros. 400 hitter, including doing some damage this year, but Peacock ahead 0-2. And after 3 walks and a little squib infield hit, if Peacock can get through this inning allowing 1, he can feel pretty good about the situation. Pop up, shallow right. Reddick is there, and the Angels leave the bases loaded. They score 1 on a bases loaded walk. It's 1-0. Starting lineup tonight presented by Southwest Airlines. Here's how it lines up. No George Springer tonight, which means Josh Reddick gets a chance as the leadoff hitter. Jose Altuve at second base. Carlos Correa at short. Carlos Beltran DHing. Brian McCann behind the plate. Marwin Gonzalez at first. Alex Bregman at third. Norichika Aoki in left field. And Jake Marisnick is in center.
Matt Shoemaker, the right-hander, going for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Get a chance to look at his numbers, making his 13th start on the season. ERA is very good. Whip is reasonably good too. He pitches with the fastball, slider, split finger. He throws a split, which is basically his changeup, but he will throw that pitch 30% of the time. He can throw it for strikes. He can throw it down out of the zone. 6 starts against Houston since 2016. He has 4 losses, even though that ERA is right around 3.
Never won his start here at Minute Maid Park as he gets ready to face Josh Reddick. Typically, he's a guy that will start slow during the season and get better as the season progresses. June has been a very good month for him as he starts for the second time in the month of June, facing the Astros tonight with a 1-0 lead. Houston coming in with a 13-game lead over the Angels, as well as the Mariners to start today's play. Josh Reddick taking a strike. Reddick has had his share of trouble against Shoemaker, just 3 for 19 in his career against tonight's Angel starter. AJ was asked about George Springer getting the day off today. He said it's a combination of factors. He tries to find a day where he feels like a guy needs a break, and then also look at the potential matchups. And Springer in his career 2 for 21 with 8 strikeouts against Shoemaker. Not sure if he factors in the entertainment factor, because George is about as fun as anybody on the bench, but tonight should be a livelier bench than normal.
Absolutely. Wonder if the equipment guy was handing out earplugs. I'm kidding. Everybody loves George. He's a good time down there. Keep those boys loose, playing hard.
There's a line drive into right field for a base hit. Reddick starts off the ball game for the Astros with a single to right.
Good start for Houston, but Matt Shoemaker against these Houston Astros has been getting hit pretty hard. 2 starts. The average is low, but you see the runs almost at 5 because these guys, when they do end up making contact with Matt Shoemaker, they have been hitting the ball hard. They've been driving it out of the ballpark. Just interesting to see guys with relatively good numbers as far as opponent batting average still getting beat. Kind of explains why when you see those guys taking leisurely jogs around the bases.
So Shoemaker having to work out of the stretch right away, and Jose Altuve, the batter. Altuve coming off a trip in which he hit .439 with a couple of home runs. The big one last night. The second time in Altuve's career he hit a home run that late to give his team the lead. The other was a walk-off against Craig Breslow.
He was on base 50% of the time on the road. 50% of the time. Wow.
He was second on the team in hits also in that road trip. That's how good the Astros were going. You mentioned in the pregame 8.5 runs per game on that 10-game swing. Slowly towards short. Simmons with a quick toss to second, and they get Altuve. Altuve bounces into a double play. At a race is Josh Reddick.
Home blows continue. Kind of reached for that one a little bit.
Off the bat, you didn't think that was a ball they could turn to on Altuve, but Simmons is so smooth that he made a very quick transfer to allow Espinosa to turn the double play. Here's Carlos Correa. He had a 13 RBI trip, giving him 40 on the season. That's 7th in the American League. Takes a called strike. So he's also just outside the top 10 in batting with that average at .306 to start play. Two years ago today, Blummer.
On the south side against Zach Duke. Carlos Correa announcing his presence with authority. Taking Zach Duke deep in the night in left field. Never forget those moments, those first home runs. Good one for Carlos Correa. Many more to come.
In the air to right, Calhoun just onto the warning track, makes the play for the final out. So a leadoff single wiped out by a double play, and we are through 1-0 Angels.
To take a look at our Chevy Stroh poll. Remember, you can find our Stroh poll on our Twitter page at Root Sports SW is our handle. Which Star Wars character is your all-time favorite? Ooh, Darth Vader, Yoda, Han Solo, Boba Fett.
So many good ones.
That's just 4. You can obviously write in your own, so you'll have to send them to us. We've got some tweets already, it looks like.
Really? Darth Vader? Come on. That's the one. Chewie.
That's
who
who you would
yours?
vote for?
Chewie's good. Well, I got to vote for Han Solo. He's on the list.
You could write in Chewie, apparently.
Check out that guy
Chewie's
riding
there.
his
Exactly.
AT HOU.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Where do I get a lightsaber?
That's a good question. We need to. Only the Jedi, I think, can build them.
No. Oh, Star Wars night.
Yep. Totally geeking out right now.
That's fun.
Can handle it for one day.
Second inning baseball. Brad Peacock, who had some issue with his control in the first inning, starts Eric Young Jr. off with a pitch inside and low for a ball. Eric Young playing in left field tonight, originally in the lineup as a center fielder, and that late addition with Cameron Maben moved him to left. Shane Robinson was on the original scorecard, but he was designated for assignment today after the activation of Cameron Maben. Called strike, 2-1. Young's done a nice job with Mike Trout out. He's done a lot of the work in center field because Maben got hurt. There's a line drive base hit. He came into the game hitting over 300 at 333, and he leads off with a single against Brad Peacock. Peacock, Blummer, seems to be getting into hitters' counts and just not able to spot up that fastball where he wants to, and that's highly unusual based on what we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, the fastball is a big key. It's one of those themes that we keep hearing about from A.J. Hinch with all of the starting pitchers and some of the guys out of the bullpen is just being able to establish the fastball early. Because we talk about it all the time, and all those kids that are watching, if you can get ahead with the fastball, you take command of the count.
Eric Young Jr. in limited time has 3 steals.
Good peripherals for Brad Peacock. Pitching very well, but those walks are going to maybe move that FIP around a little bit.
Saw that crowd that was outside earlier tonight starting to fill in now. Big and bright Friday night. Huge crowds hanging out in center field as expected. The Stroh zone is filled up yet again. The Stroh zone selling out on a Friday night is becoming a regular feature.
They're doing a good job of promoting and mixing it up.
We got the tools of the trade Marwin Gonzalez shirts tonight.
Yeah, the human Swiss Army knife.
Mr. Utility. That's the theme tonight. Different.
I've already packed mine up.
Pretty cool.
It's a good thing Todd had his out. He's prepared. It is a cool shirt.
They have the dates on the back, so you know you're going to get a fresh shirt every time in the Stroh zone.
There's me in a t-shirt. There's Todd.
Peacock paying a lot of attention to Eric Young Jr. And there's a swing and a miss, 1-1. You know his dad pretty well, right?
Yes, I do. We were on the same team in San Diego and actually got a chance to work with him here. First couple of years I started broadcasting for the Astros. He was doing pre and post. Another one of my favorite teammates, all around good guys. I believe he's now coaching with the Colorado Rockies.
His son has led the National League in steals. Hasn't played much in the American League. Last year, just a few at bats with the Yankees, and this year was called up from AAA to fill in after the injuries, as we mentioned earlier, to their outfield. He's on the move. Pitch is fouled away. That's why Peacock was paying so much attention. A.J. Hinch anticipating they're going to be aggressive with Eric Young Jr. on the bases. Led the National League in steals when he was a member of the New York Mets. 2013 stole a combined 46 bases, 8 with Colorado and 38 with the Mets. When he went from Colorado to the Mets on June 18th, Eric Young Jr. was traded for Colin McHugh in that 2013 season. Espinosa fouls it away. It's still 3-2. Well, this is an inning where Peacock started out with a high pitch count, and he is now at 39 pitches. He's thrown more out of the zone than in the zone. 21 balls, 18 strikes. And on a night where the Astros bullpen still doesn't have everybody available, Brent Strom and A.J. Hinch maybe thinking about how they're going to play this one out. Francis Martez is an option out there. There goes E.Y. Jr. and the pitch is low. Ball 4. 4 walks issued by Brad Peacock in the first inning plus 2 batters.
Can't defend the walk. And 4 of them already in this game for Brad Peacock. Obviously the fastball command has eluded him. There's obviously guys in this lineup that you can go ahead and go after and attack and try and get you through this. But right now they're either talking about how to get Peacock right or who to get up in the bullpen or where the Maylocks is at. Because they've had to use it the last couple days trying to patchwork that bullpen together. They needed to get some deep starts out of their starters. Lance McCullers did a great job. But with Keuchel evacuating that start that he had with the injury has really pressed this bullpen.
Maben swings and misses at the slider, 0-1. Maben a little squib shot off the end of his bat that ended up being a base hit as it had a lot of English on it and it eluded Marwin Gonzalez at first base. You know, Feliz has still been used heavily. James Hoyt had a big road trip in terms of number of pitches and usage. Chris Davinsky's pitched in 2 out of 3. So your long man today may be the young rookie, the 21-year-old Martez. Snap throw out at second base. Eric Young Jr. picked off at second. He's asking the Angels dugout to take a look at this, but Altuve sneaking in behind him, and for now he has been picked off.
That'd be a huge bonus for Brad Peacock. Doesn't have to waste any more pitches if you get that out right there. Snap tag by Jose Altuve. Looks like he gets E.Y. Jr. on that left arm. This will be a good look at it. Make sure he gets the tag on him. And Angels are going to challenge this because they're not sure that that tag actually got on to E.Y.'s arm.
Paul Emo is the crew chief, the home plate umpire, and he will be joined by Ramon De Jesus, who made the call. Let's see if we can see anything definitive here.
Because that's the view that the umpire has, and it looks like the glove is on E.Y. in that position. But that other angle we saw from third base didn't look exactly like Jose Altuve put the tag on that arm. But is there enough to overturn it? Because right now he's out.
Can't tell if the glove's on him here.
taken a while for the Emperor to get back with his decision. It's always an interesting time for the players conversating with each other.
Yeah, it's just a matter of where that glove is at that point. The hand contacts the bag. Is the glove down in time, and do they have a definitive view to overturn it?
Yeah, because from that angle, it appears that the glove is down in time, but do they have enough to overturn it? Nope.
Big out for Brad Peacock. Altuve did a nice job sneaking in too.
It really is, and I agree with you. I was just going to say the same thing. What a heads-up play by a salty veteran out there in Altuve to pick up his pitcher by noticing this runner at second base getting a little far off. I'd say he's basically holding him on at second base. Maybe the option was up to Peacock whether or not he wanted to turn and throw. Good play. How's he feel? Love him. How do you not love the adorable Altuve?
Waiting for that adjective. Now we almost get a pick off at first. Danny Espinosa almost picked off at first right after Eric Young Jr. is picked off at second.
Well, if you can't get him at the dish, get him on the bases.
You know, I understand Eric Young Jr. wants to be as aggressive as possible because he is trying to make an impression on this team in limited at bats, just coming up from AAA. But with Peacock struggling, you don't want to give him any reason to get back into a rhythm. In the air towards right field, Reddick on the move, and this one is going to one hop into the crowd. That's a ground rule double. Espinosa will stop at third. So the Angels have runners on second and third. That pickoff saves a run. One out in the second.
Peacock having issues with location. See where this is on our MD Anderson strike zone. Says down and in, but it looked a little more center cut than he wanted it to be. Good job of going the other way by Cameron Maybin. Lucking out by having that ball bounce into the stands, not allowing a run to come in. Just got to be better with that location.
Astros will bring the infield in against Cole Calhoun. Calhoun hit a deep and high fly ball his first time up into right field. It's pitched down and in for a ball, 1-0. Calhoun 13 for his last 31 after being retired his first time up. See that offense picking up in the month of June.
Doesn't make sense. Best player's not in the lineup.
Now it's 2-0. Line drive, base hit into right field. That'll score one. Maybin's being waved around. He will score. And the Angels take a 3-0 lead. A rough start for Brad Peacock tonight.
Not really fooling anybody right now, is he? You can see the location an issue, even down out of the zone. If that fastball is coming back into the left-handed hitter, Calhoun on the attack barrels it up.
Well, he can be wild out of the zone, which we've seen at times. He can also be wild within the zone, which we've seen this inning. Not hitting his spots. Thankfully for a pickoff throw, there's an out in this inning. It's gone single, walk, double, single, and it's 3-0 Angels. Ground ball towards short. Correa to Altuve. One. Plenty of time to turn two. And that gets Peacock out of the second inning. But two more runs score, and it's now 3-0. Kroger Family Sundays. Special Kroger Family 4-pack start at just $60. Visit Astros.com/Sundays or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more information. Bottom half of the second inning, Astros down 3-0, but have no fear. This is an offense that has scored at least 5 runs in the last 11 games. Beltran facing Matt Shoemaker. Last 12 games they've scored 5 runs or more. That ties a franchise record. It's also the first time that's happened since the 2007 New York Mets. When the Astros were going for 12 wins in a row in Kansas City, it was the first time that had happened for the Astros since the 2004 season. Carlos Beltran was a member of the 2004 Houston Astros that won 12 in a row. And he was also a member of the 2007 Mets, the last team to score 5 runs or more in a dozen games.
I want to pick this guy up. You think he goes to the free agent table and says, hey, look at these numbers?
Funny thing is, when Julie asks him about some of these numbers, he's like, really? I did that?
Who, me?
Our team did that?
Yeah, it seems like those are staggering numbers he would remember.
Pitch away, it's 2-2. He downplays a lot of his marks that pass certain luminaries in the game, but when asked about his team's winning streaks or scoring a lot of runs, the recollection, he's played so many years, he doesn't always have that pinpoint memory. He sends one into right field. Calhoun is there, and there's one away. So after a leadoff hit by Josh Reddick, Shoemaker has retired the next 3. I'll bring to the plate a guy who had a really good series in Kansas City, Brian McCann. McCann, a couple of home runs at Kauffman Stadium, went 7 for 12, and he needed it. He had been scuffling prior to that series. There's a line drive with the shift in place. Doesn't matter as Espinosa can't get to that bullet off the bat of Brian McCann. He's a 1-out base runner. Now 8 for his last 13.
Keep swinging it. Even with the shift employed, McCann does a good job of staying on that. What I like, even though he pulled that baseball, as the front shoulder didn't go flying to attack it, still letting that ball travel and rips it through the shift.
Shoemaker's always been a heavy splitter guy, and that's the split change you just saw McCann hit as Marwin Gonzalez plays for the first time since Monday. But he's not throwing the split change as much this year as he has in the past. Last year 40% usage, this year below 30. 7 of his 13 home runs allowed have come off that pitch. There's the fastball for a strike, 0-1. Marwin missed 3 games in Kansas City with that hand contusion. Glad to be back in the lineup tonight, playing first base. A couple of slides in Monday night's game, causing some discomfort.
Yeah, that'll get you every time, won't it?
There's a line drive past Simmons into left center field. McCann will stop at second. The Astros with back-to-back hits with 1 out.
It's good to see the discomfort turning into comfort. Getting back in that lineup for Marwin Gonzalez. You see the pitch away? Go with the pitch away. Nice piece of hitting by Marwin. Ball still jumping off his bat.
Right back in the lineup. And a base hit. Marwin coming in batting at .314. So here's Alex Bregman. Bregman's done well against the Angels this year, but he seems like he's been right around that 250 mark. And that's where he starts tonight's play. 3 of his 6 home runs, though, coming on that last road trip. Away, it's 1-0. Bregman had a stretch there of less than 3 weeks where he hit all 6 of his home runs. For the final game of the Yankees series on the road until the Texas series. Alex Bregman teaches the kids, make sure never to litter. This is not a kid's Sunday, but an early lesson for you watching at home.
Teaching moment. Good job, Todd.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Well, whoever lost their napkin, it's now like a batting glove in that it's sticking out of his back pocket.
I'll tell you what, if he gets a hit with it, guess where that napkin's going to be next to AB? Right back in that pocket. All that superstition talk the other day, we never mentioned Craig Biggio's name. He was one of the worst. I couldn't hit behind him, man. I could not stay out of the way. Gum had to be in a certain place. The donut had to be in a certain place.
Was it tougher hitting behind him then?
Yeah. I couldn't get far enough away out of that on-deck circle. Jimmy Williams put me in the 2-hole in between Biggio and Bagwell, which is obviously pretty cool. But I had to learn real quick Biggio's routine. First couple times, I was in the way.
And he told you?
Oh, yeah. He was like, get out of the way. Put the donut in a certain spot. I kind of started picking up on a couple of keys. I'm like, okay, I'm on to you.
So did it get to the point, here's the 2-1 pitch, did it get to the point where you just almost waited for him to leave?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I would hang out with Baggy over there on the steps until Biz was actually approaching the box, and I'd be like, okay, my turn.
I have some space now.
Yep. Well, the last thing you want to do is mess up a Hall of Famer. Let Biz go out there and do his work.
2-2 the count to Alex Bregman. And it's up high. It's 3-2. So here we go. Astros down 3-0, but a couple of singles, and now Bregman with a 3-2 count.
We talked about quality ABs, the ability for these guys to be relentless about them. See him a little bit right now.
Bregman a 360 hitter with runners in scoring position this year. Lays off, ball 4, and the Astros have the bases loaded. Julia?
Getting to Know is presented by AARP. We are looking at Nori Aoki as he comes up to the plate. 2 hits away from the big 2000. That's all of his hits in the major leagues here and in Japan. It's called Meikyu Kai, the Golden Players Cup. He's automatically inducted into that. Will receive a green jacket, not a gold one, I think, as we've said before. But you know, for Aoki chasing a milestone like that, it's tough for any player. We just saw Pujols go for 600, maybe get a little anxious, maybe start chasing hits. He's done a really nice job here lately of laying off some pitches that he was chasing after earlier. So feeling pretty good, but 2 hits away. That is the watch right now. Could get it tonight.
So he gets a Masters jacket.
Exactly.
If he gets into the Golden Players Club.
That's awesome.
I think Golden Players Club should have a gold jacket.
I thought the same.
That makes too much sense. Come on, guys.
This will be a big spot here to get 1999. Bases are loaded on the ground towards first. Valbuena steps on the bag, throw home, not in time. Good evasive move by Brian McCann to score the game's first run for the Astros.
What looked like pretty good luck for the Angels turned into brilliant tap dancing at home plate by Brian McCann. Twinkle toes. Chopper to first. That was a great play by Valbuena to make sure he stepped on the bag at first and then gun home. That was a great play by Maldonado also to make the catch. I'm not sure you could have hit that in a worse spot. But firing home, good catch. And then a little two-step on you.
He had to put on the brakes hard.
Look at the smile. That's great. Instead of the Cupid shuffle, you got the Mick shuffle.
I mean, that was... he put on the brakes hard to get into home plate. Here's Jake Marisnick with the ball outside, 1-0. There's a lot of momentum carrying him past the plate. He dug in those heels just enough to get the fingertips on the backside of the plate.
Yeah, it's not an easy vessel to stop.
I hope this is not an esoteric reference because I can't help to think about this when you mentioned Twinkle Toes, but back in the days of the Flintstones cartoons, Fred used to have to stop his car with his feet. And then he also had the nickname Twinkle Toes. I don't know why I'm going there, but he had to basically stop himself with his feet.
I now have that animated noise in my head. The Twinkle Toes, just called him Fred Flintstone, man.
He stopped himself with his feet. I can't help it. 2-0 pitch is a called strike. It's 2-1. There he is. Twinkle Toes himself. Nice job. There was a lot of momentum heading past home plate. He put on the brakes.
It's a pretty good shoe contract.
2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs, and Jake Marisnick is the batter. And it's a 2-2 count. Well, the Astros continue to put pressure on the opposing pitchers. Our Twitter followers are awesome already.
Yeah, Heath Turner's all over it.
Marisnick calls time.
Yeah, move over, Grandpa Rossi. There's a new Dancing with the Stars.
There you go.
I like it.
You know they're about as close as players can get. David Ross and Brian McCann.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, they went to... in fact, Brian McCann found out he was an Astro on his way to David Ross' birthday party. On the ground towards the hole. Simmons with a diving stop. They're going to get Bregman heading around third. 1 run scores. Bregman's in a rundown. He will be tagged out for the final out of the inning. Astros do get 1 on that base hit and 2 in the inning, and now trail 3-2.
Brian McCann showing the agility for a big man. Looking to get recognition from his boys, too.
Within 1 here at Minute Maid Park. RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced MLB action packed with all of your favorite teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com. Let's go to the booth. They have some special guests up there.
Yeah, this is kind of exciting right here. Star Wars night, and I am a part of the Star Wars brigade. I have totally indoctrinated my entire family. All 4 of my girls are Star Wars fans. They will be severely disappointed they are not here. We've got old Ben. We've got Darth Vader in the booth. We've got a stormtrooper up here, part of the Imperial Guard, helping out. But it's a good time. Good costumes. How you doing, old Ben?
Doing all right.
Yeah?
It's a little warm.
It is a little warm. They opened the roof for you, didn't they?
Yes. Thank goodness.
So none of that Jedi can close the roof for us and turn on the AC,
Well,
huh?
I wouldn't want to spoil it for the fans.
Line drive, base hit, broken bat. Yunel Escobar around first, and he's going to head to second base.
So have you ever used a lightsaber for a bat?
For a bat?
Yeah.
I can't say that I have.
Would be kind of interesting to slice that baseball right in half, right?
That's exactly right.
It's amazing, this Star Wars. What are we, 40 years into this?
At least.
Yes.
It's as old as I am.
77.
Yeah.
It does not slow down.
It doesn't. And you guys got a cut of that $5 billion or so that they've racked in, right?
I wish. Yeah. I know Alec Guinness did.
Yeah, he did. Did very good. The original Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
They had a little parade on the field before the game.
It's always exciting to get down on the field.
So you guys just do this for public appearance, or is this?
Oh, no. We do this for charity mainly.
Really?
We go to hospitals and visit kids in the wards. We sponsor charities. We take pictures at comic conventions for voluntary donations to the charity that we sponsor that weekend. And we love doing it. We love putting the smiles on the kids.
Oh, I bet you
and some
do.
adults, too.
Oh, I was going to say, I've got a smile on my face. I appreciate the effort. It's pretty exciting stuff. Is there a favorite Star Wars? Which one of the Star Wars movies is your favorite?
Actually, this last one, The Force Awakens,
Nice.
I really loved it.
Yeah. How about Rogue One? It was a good movie, but when you know the ending, it kind of took a little bit of the edge off for me.
But it's nice to fill in the blanks,
Yep.
before Episode 4, what happened.
Yep. So have you always been a Star Wars fan, or was this just something that you just happened to look like somebody and one of your buddies said, oh my gosh, you remind me of Ben Kenobi?
Ever since the first movie came out in '77, I've been a Star Wars
No
fan.
kidding. Nice.
And the facial wrinkles and beard color took 70 years for me to get it just
to
right.
work into the role, right?
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Luis Valbuena batting with a 1-2 count. Nobody out, a runner on second base. We have a lot of the people who are participating in Star Wars Night up with us in the booth right now. Yunel Escobar goes diving in. Brad Peacock already picked off a runner earlier tonight.
No, we're doing a good job. I hope that everybody at home can see the detail that these guys have put together as far as the uniforms. Now, do you guys make these, purchase these? How do we go about, or if I wanted to go out and try and get one of these, how would I do that?
These costumes are made by the people that are in the
Really?
organizations. The 501st are the bad guys, the Rebel Legion are the good guys, and they have to make their own costumes, and the costumes have to be screen accurate.
No kidding.
Yes, sir.
Are any of the props and uniform or any of the costumes used in the actual movies for sale or for purchase or anything like that?
No, we can't do anything for profit. Lucasfilm has the intellectual property rights on all these costumes.
I believe it.
So we do 100% charity work.
Line drive into center field. That'll score a run for the Angels as they get one back after the Astros scored 2 in the bottom half of the second inning. RBI single for the former Astro Luis Valbuena. And it's now a 4-2 game.
So are we baseball fans?
Oh, yes. I remember getting Jeff Bagwell's rookie autograph outside the Astrodome.
How about that?
Loved it.
One of the young Jedis back in the day.
Yes.
Baggy could wield that lightsaber like a champion.
Yes, he could.
So where's Chewie?
He's not here tonight.
Is it too hot for Chewie in this situation?
He's on the Millennium Falcon.
Somewhere in hyperspace.
Yeah.
On his way to one of those far-off galaxies. So how much knowledge do you have of Star Wars?
I'm not going to say I have perfect knowledge, but I know quite a bit.
I know there are quite
it.
a bit out there. I already blew up one. Somebody was riding on an inflatable tauntaun, but I locked up and said at. So I blew that one and got killed on Twitter for it. So it is a tauntaun. We know that.
Yes.
But is there what is the most amazing fact about Star Wars that you can share with us right now, if you have one, or something we may not know?
Many of the truths that we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view.
That's good. That's why
Quote,
I'm sitting in this seat.
Quote Ben Kenobi.
There you
like
go.
it.
I like it.
I'll write that one down.
Yeah, we need to educate Todd a little bit. He is not a part of the Star Wars brigade.
Have you seen any of the movies?
I have. I just have not seen as many as my broadcast partner, and I'm not quite as much. I don't have the knowledge that my buddy Jeff Blum has when it comes to Star Wars, for sure. Francis Martez warming up in the Astros bullpen.
Well, I know you guys are busy. I really appreciate you guys being in here. I'm probably going to take one selfie while I can, while you guys are in here, and then let you guys entertain.
Aoki makes the play on Simmons for out number 1. Yes,
It was great having you guys in here. Really appreciate it. I love the fact that you guys are doing this for charity. That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you for
Really
having us up
appreciate it.
here.
thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Nice to meet
Take
everybody.
care.
Thank you. Ben, take care. Thank you. Star Wars night at Minute Maid Park. There you go. I'll get out of the plumber selfie here.
Yeah, I got to get this real quick. We're going to got everybody. Yeah.
There you go. Post that one.
Oh,
Plumber.
man, he's got the choke signal going. Careful with that, Darth.
So a run scored in this inning. Runner on first base and 1 out. Here's Martin Maldonado taking a pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Maldonado popped out to the right fielder. Josh Reddick his first time up. Well, Martez, the #1 prospect in the Astros organization, if he gets in this game, he will be making his major league debut. The 21-year-old loosening up with Brad Peacock in the 3rd inning, making his 60th pitch of the game. And Brad has not had his best command tonight. It's 2-0 on Maldonado. Still with more pitches out of the zone than in the zone for Peacock. 31 balls, 29 strikes, 60 pitches into this game. RBI single by Valbuena, giving the Angels a 4-2 lead. And it's 2-1 on Martin Maldonado. Peacock's first 2 starts this season, he was just getting stretched out after coming out of the bullpen, but he lasted 4 1/3 and 4 2/3 innings. So he's not used to averaging more than 20 pitches an inning, which he is tonight. His last start, he went 6 innings and threw 86 pitches. 2-2 the count. You're good?
All right, I'm back.
You're back?
Yeah.
You got all the pictures you needed?
That was good. Yeah, those will be posted soon enough.
Oh, we forgot to show the Beltron giveaway tonight.
There's more important things going on, Todd.
I know, but this is really cool what the Strozone gang gets. Ground ball towards the hole. Even when Brad Peacock gets a little grounder, it's finding a hole. This is not his night. All right, we've got a bobblehead here.
Yep, return of the Beltron.
Look,
Lightsaber.
lightsaber.
It's pretty cool.
Bobble.
He's sharing the knowledge and the ways of the Force for the Houston Astros down there in that dugout, hopefully.
I remember that phrase for Obi-Wan, huh?
Yeah, he's got plenty of them.
So there you go. That was a big giveaway tonight for the Strozone boys and girls. Meeting at the mound, Brad Peacock and Brent Strom. It's been a tough night for Peacock. Some of it has been his doing with the 4 walks. Some of them has been well-placed base hits. But overall, the lack of command has really hurt Peacock, put him into hitters' counts.
Yeah, he's given up some rockets and he's given up some seeing eye hits, just unable to figure it out.
Well, it was Martez warming up for a while, but now it's James Hoyt. And there you saw Martez kind of leaning up against the wall. So we may not see Martez tonight. We'll see how that plays out. Eric Young Jr. takes a pitch down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. 7 hits to go along with the 4 walks. Angels coming off a game in which they scored 11 against the Tigers yesterday. There's a strike. Not only did they score 11, but a majority of them were against Michael Fulmer, who, from what the Astros saw of him, was one of the more impressive pitchers they've seen this year. But came in riding a little bit of confidence. Young fouls went back past Espinosa. It's 1-2. Young reached on a hit his first time up, but then he was picked off second base. So you got the information to join those clubs if you need to?
Yeah, I'm in.
Pretty impressive that those guys and girls make their own outfits.
I just think it's great for charity. I had no idea that they did that.
They look real. Look like the legit stuff. That's pretty. They have to pass a certain.
Talk about a great deal of effort.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Pete, you can do it. Come on.
1-2 the count to Eric Young Jr. You get the feeling the Astros still have plenty of offense remaining. So if you're Brad Peacock and the Astros, you're hoping to try and limit the damage here. First and second, 1 out. In the air to left, Aoki going back. He is there for out number 2. Roof is open June 9th. We've seen the roof open a lot this year. Beautiful scene beyond left field with the sun setting. 14th time this year the roof has been open in the 31st home game.
Beautiful night. I'd like to see Peacock get out of this jam right now. Somehow find a way to keep these Angels off the bases and keep them from scoring.
Facing Danny Espinosa, the number 9 hitter. Espinosa walked and scored a run last time. You know, we haven't had a chance really to talk about the play that ended the bottom half of the second inning with our great guest from Star Wars that came in the top half of the third. That was a play where Bregman assumed the ball was going to go into left field, and the great play by Andrelton Simmons kind of caught him off guard, rounding third for the final out.
No, I agree with you. That was a tough play. And watching the third base coach, Gary Pettis, he had his hands up trying to stop him immediately. And usually when third base coach has his hands up immediately, you try not to make that big turn. But also you got to anticipate what if that ball is cut off and you have that throw behind.
Jake Marisnick with a 2-out base hit scored a run, and then Bregman rounded third, and Simmons had stopped the ball from going into the outfield. And they got Bregman in a rundown for the final out. 1-1 the count on Espinosa. Espinosa coming in as a left-hand hitter, batting .149 with 4 of his 5 home runs. Astros expect him to pull the ball in the infield with Correa to the first base side of the bag, and Altuve over in the hole at second. And Peacock ahead 1-2. Well, Brad Peacock coming in averaging 15 strikeouts per every 9 innings as a starter, looking for his first strikeout tonight. It says a little something about him not having the normal good stuff that we've seen for Brad Peacock this year. Struck out 8, 8, and 9 in his 3 previous starts. And fouled out of play.
Just a little out of rhythm. Not sure why, but we're not seeing him miss wildly. He's just missing.
And to see him go through the lineup now twice without a strikeout, highly unusual. 4 1/3 innings, 8 strikeouts. 4 2/3 innings, 8 strikeouts. 6 innings, 9 strikeouts. Those are his previous 3 starts. Doesn't get a chase on the slider. It's 2-2.
Might be a little bit of an issue with the command with the slider too. Usually that's the pitch he goes to for the punch out. He hasn't been ahead in too many counts. But he also hasn't gotten too many guys to chase after it.
Well, got to think the leash is fairly short now. He's at 73 pitches. That's a lot of work in the third inning. James Hoyt has been loosening long enough that you would think he would be ready if needed. A lot going on Friday nights here at Minute Maid Park. If you haven't heard, it's a place to be on the weekends and really every day of the week. But the weekends have been huge crowds this year. And this weekend they're expecting big crowds tonight, tomorrow, Sunday. The Angels in town for 3, and then the Rangers in town Monday through Wednesday. Ball 3. 75 pitches in. You don't have it every night. And this is one of those nights where Brad Peacock is just trying to fight through it. Trying to get some help from the crowd here. It's urging him on. Looking for a two-out strikeout or any kind of out. Runners on the move. Called third strike. Inside corner. Espinosa doesn't like the call. Peacock gets his first strikeout.
Good job of locating the fastball to get out of that inning for Brad Peacock. Salvage another inning. The Astros are trailing by 2 to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. We've got Josh Reddick leading off. We're going to look at our Houston Methodist League leaders. Best on-base percentage leading off an inning in the American League. So you've got a 50-50 chance that Josh Reddick is going to lead off this inning by getting on base. He's done a very good job at it, whether it be via the walk, via the base hit. But he had a big part to do with that comeback last night for the Houston Astros. He was getting on with that walk to start off that 9th inning that turned into a big rally that ended up being an Astro win. But a very good guy to have at the top of your lineup, very good guy to have leading off an inning.
Drew a 4-pitch walk in that 9th inning preceding the Jose Altuve home run. Singled his first time up. Now he'll lead things off for the Astros in inning 3. 4-2 game as Matt Shoemaker has thrown 29 pitches through 2 innings. There's the Reddick lightsaber. And it's 2-0. Reddick is hitting leadoff for the 7th time this season. George Springer generally in that leadoff spot, but getting a night to rest. And it's 3-1. Shoemaker generally has had good control, but this year he's had some issues. He's had 5 different starts, including 2 of his last 3, with at least 3 walks. He walked Alex Bregman last inning. He was down 3-1 to Josh Reddick, and now the count's 3-2. This is a guy who last year struck out 49 batters without issuing a walk. 49 consecutive strikeouts in the middle of the season without walking anybody, a franchise record. He had 10 starts with no walks. This year it's been a little different. He's walked 1 in every start but 1. Into left field, Josh Reddick leading off an inning, getting on base again. Reddick has to hustle into second, and he'll go head first with a leadoff double in the 3rd.
Call him a grinder, call him a leadoff man, call him a catalyst. He does a very good job of putting together some great at-bats. He had a rough stretch, kind of in the middle part of that road trip where he was still hitting the ball hard, but you got to love the aggressiveness of this guy. Continuing to go out there and battle, gets a pitch up out over the plate. Really utilizing that left field corner here at Minute Maid Park with the Crawford boxes coming in and see running hard through the base.
Reddick came in without great numbers against Shoemaker, just 3 for 19, but he's 2 for 2 tonight. And he's in scoring position for Jose Altuve. That's the Astros' 5th base hit of the night, and it's their first extra base hit. Altuve grounded into a double play his first time up. Nothing in 1. Shoemaker with the first-year player draft coming up on Monday. He attended Eastern Michigan University. He did not get drafted. Altuve must not be seeing you well out of his hand. It's 0-2.
It kind of makes you wonder. We heard Julia talking about the discrepancy between the road numbers and the home numbers for Jose Altuve, and it kind of makes you wonder. We've seen it. A lot of fans have seen it, and everybody at home has seen it too. He seems to chase a little bit more here at Minute Maid Park for whatever reason.
Now they set up way outside, and they get another swing and miss. 3-pitch strikeout. Shoemaker getting Altuve for the first out. Julia?
Our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight is going to fall on a couple of players. Carlos Correa, who we'll see here in a second, and George Springer combining for 9 home runs on that trip. It was the AL Player of the Week in George and the Player of the Month for May in Correa. These guys were on a tear, still are. We'll see Correa tonight. George Springer with a night off, as you mentioned, is much needed for him. It's really hard to find him a day off. You should see guys like Correa, too, getting a day off, and even Jose Altuve, just to keep these guys fresh. But it is really hard to find the time when they're swinging the bat as well as those two have been.
Yeah, you never like to see any of those 3 get a day off, but it's necessary, especially a 162-game schedule, especially when you come off a road trip and play a night game to wrap up that 3-city 10-game trip. And you're right back at it the next day against the Angels. Angels had a day game yesterday in Detroit. So they got into town right around the time that Astros were playing the Royals in Kansas City. Carlos Correa flied out to right his first time up. On the ground toward short. Simmons looks at third, but he'll make the play to first. Reddick goes to third with 2 outs.
Yeah, it's hard as a manager when you do have guys that are absolutely breaking. You don't want to have them sit down for too long. You lose that rhythm, that timing. But it's something you have to do, and I know that the Houston Astros spend a lot of time, and A.J. Hinch especially, trying to figure out how to keep these guys fresh throughout the course of the season. It's not easy to do because you want to go out and try and win every game, but I think it's a little bit easier this year considering the depth of this roster. You can put a guy like Jake Marisnick out there and give a guy a day off. You can move Marwin Gonzalez all over the infield and into the outfield to give guys days off and really not lose too much.
Beltran taking a pitch up high for a ball. It's 1-0. Beltran flied out to right his first time up. We saw bullpen action last half inning with Brad Peacock on the mound in the third, and that has continued through the Astros at bat. So just guessing, but Peacock's night may be over as James Hoyt continues to throw. 1-0 pitch in the air to right field. Calhoun is there. He'll put it away for the final out. So a leadoff double is left on base. We are through 3. It's 4-2 Angels.
Game at Minute Maid Park is Dollar Hot Dog Wednesday. Scarf down all the dollar dogs you can eat on Wednesday the 14th by visiting astros.com/dollardogs. Or you can call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Always a popular night here at Minute Maid Park. Beautiful scene beyond the left field wall. Roof is open. With the Angels leading 4-2, Brad Peacock's night is over after 3 innings. Very unusual night for him, only lasting 3 innings and allowing 4 runs, and James Hoyt is the new pitcher.
James has been working pretty hard of late, pitching in a couple games there in Kansas City. Got the day off yesterday. Probably going to be asked to maybe go an inning, if not 2. But his strikeout numbers are very good. Fastball slider, also has that split-fingered offset against left-handed hitters.
First pitch is a strike to Cameron Maybin. Maybin was 2 for 2. A late addition to this lineup by Mike Scioscia, and it's paid off. Infield single, a little squib shot off the end of his bat that had a lot of English on it, and then a double to right. And a called strike. Hoyt comes out firing. Strikes, it's 0-2. Hoyt pitched in the game Monday in Kansas City, an inning and a third, and also came back and threw Tuesday. That was 3 out of 4 days for him, so he had yesterday and the day before off. Back out there tonight. A little chopper over the mound, and Maybin's going to live for the 3rd straight time. Just like the first inning, not hit very hard, but it was in a perfect spot. And now he's 3 for 3.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and right now the Astros have found every hole in this defense. Tough play when you got a guy like Cameron Maybin flying down that first baseline. Good choice by Carlos to eat it.
Now, there were a couple of soft hits for the Angels against Peacock, but he also did not help himself out with the 4 walks. 7 hits, 4 walks for Brad in 3 innings, and he allows 4 runs. Cole Calhoun, the batter, 1 for 2, including a 2 RBI single his last time up. Angels have been straddling that 500 mark, it seems like, for the last few weeks. Never too far over 500, never too far under 500. There goes Maben. The pitch is a strike. The throw bounces into center field. Maben's going to head to third as he gets a stolen base, his third of the game, and he'll move to third on an error.
Tell you what, Maben showed up today and getting on base with the idea of making it tough on Brian McCann. Stealing at will. McCann trying to be quick, short hopped Correa. As a shortstop, you want to make the pick and the tag, but there's a moment where you have to understand keeping that ball in front of you and keeping that runner from advancing another 90 feet is more important.
Calhoun down to the count, 0-2. Well, the Astros certainly like that lineup better without Cameron Maben in it. He has done some damage tonight. The night Diane Diaz pitched, which was Wednesday, emergency spot start as Dallas Keuchel did not make the start that night and would go on the 10-day DL. Diaz and the rest of the bullpen soaked up 8 innings. Tonight the bullpen's going to be asked to soak up 6 innings. As Peacock last 3. James Hoyt taking over here in the 4th. One and 2 the count. We saw Francis Martez warming and then sitting down after he warmed up. It'll be interesting to see how they decide to use Martez, whether it will eventually be out of the bullpen or if they want him to stay in that starting rhythm and maybe head back to AAA Fresno. We'll see what happens tonight. There's a bullet into right field for an RBI hit. Calhoun's second RBI base hit of the night. He has 2 hits and 3 RBIs. (5-2) Angels.
This is not the welcome home you were looking for, was it?
Angels already with 9 hits in the game. Mentioned the Angels have been hanging right around 500. If they win tonight, that will be the 14th time this year they have been exactly 500. Coming into 31-32. Plenty of time though to score some runs against Mike Scioscia's group. Astros usually put them up in bunches, down 5-2 only in the 4th inning. Angels have scored in every inning so far as Pujols checks. It's 1-1. Pujols joining the 600 home run club. Did that last Saturday, hitting a grand slam. One of 9 players in Major League Baseball history with 600 home runs. There's that good slider by Hoyt. 1-2.
Got Carlos Beltran for the Houston Astros putting up some historic numbers. This guy right here, I know that fans of the Astros know about his endeavors, but these are pretty phenomenal career rankings for Albert Pujols.
On the ground towards third. Could be the second double play they turn on Pujols, and it is. Bregman to Altuve to Marwin Gonzalez. And for the second straight time, Pujols is grounded into a double play.
It's a good play, and Altuve knowing that he has plenty of time with Albert running down the line at first. Nice easy toss to get the out.
if you're wondering if Pujols has hit into a large number of double plays this year, actually he hasn't. He'd only hit into 6 double plays in 218 at bats coming in, but 2 in back-to-back at bats, and now the base is cleared for Yunel Escobar. By comparison, there are 4 Astros who have grounded into more double plays coming into tonight than Pujols this year. Pitch away from Hoyt. It's 2-0. And as we were just talking about Francis Martez, he starts to warm up again in the bullpen. This is a young man at 21 years old who is hoping to make his major league debut, getting hot for his 2nd time. And you would think at this point, with the future that he has, if he doesn't come into the game after warming up this time, they probably won't warm him up a 3rd time.
Yeah, that'd be a lot to ask of the young man. 21 years old, getting a shot in the show with one of the Major League's best team.
Called strike. Yunel Escobar has a little conversation with Paul Emmel. It's 3-1. And it's 3-2. Escobar's walked it double.
2 pitches at the top. One was a ball, one was a strike. James Hoyt working himself back into this count with that slider.
And he got him. Hoyt gets Escobar swinging for the final out of the inning. The Angels tack on a run and lead it 5-2.
A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Hi. Is it Say something.
That didn't look comfortable at all.
That was not one of my favorite days in my life. He wouldn't break out of character. It really freaked me out.
Yeah, that's a little creepy.
And why did he have to be so close to me?
Personal space was invaded.
Yeah, his face almost touched mine. He
Yeah,
was
those
wearing red and black paint.
bat and horns. Watch out for the skull fractures he had.
Brian McCann into right field, but he gets under it. Cole Calhoun will drift back. Brian just missed that one as he tried to bid for his 2nd consecutive hit. Coming off a big series against Kansas City. Astros down 5-2, bottom half of the 4th inning.
Too close.
Yeah.
Way too close.
He is peering into your soul.
was creepy. I'm glad he's not here tonight.
Well, that looked like it was in Tampa, so I blame Todd for not protecting his partner across the way.
I did not help you out much. Little did I know we'd be working together the next year, but I still should have helped you out. That was a little strange, I must admit.
There's no mental stability checks before you get in.
Man, pure fear right there. I don't really know much about that guy either, but I'm assuming he's not a good one.
Blummer?
Oh, he's a bad one. Darth Maul. Watch out.
There's a line drive off the bat of Marwin Gonzalez and a diving effort by Young as he makes the play. Eric Young Jr. robbing Gonzalez of extra bases.
Pretty good play by EY Jr. out there. Marwin still swinging a hot bat, taking a pitch up and away and driving it the other way, but EY had bad intentions by laying out and making a great play on it.
Oh, 2 outs and the base is cleared. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman takes a strike, 0-1. Bregman walked and was thrown out rounding third base on an RBI single by Jake Marisnick. Bregman sends one down the line foul. No balls and 2 strikes. You're mentioning EY, Eric Young Jr. and his dad, Eric Young, who you worked with here in Houston. They're the only father-son combination that have both led the league in steals.
It's kind of cool.
A lot of speed in that family.
Absolutely. Good raw athletic talent.
1-2 the count. And he's getting a chance. I mean, who knows now that Maven's back and they still like what this guy's doing. They're going to find a place to play him. Tonight it's in left field. Somebody who's been around mostly in the National League for most of his career. 5th start in left field tonight. He started 6 times in center. Now the count's 2-2.
I guess it's about that time that a lot of my teammates and their sons might start popping up in some of these drafts that we keep seeing. I know it was Daz Cameron. Played with his father, Mike Cameron, with the San Diego Padres, and also played with Eric Young, Sr., with the San Diego Padres. So a lot of commonality and a lot of guys with good bloodlines.
And we will see a lot of those names pop up on Monday, just like they did a few years ago when Lance McCullers Jr. was drafted by the Astros. 2-2 is away. It's 3-2. Astros have 4 of the first 75 picks on Monday. They picked 15th overall in the first round, then 53rd, 56th, and 75th. First-year player draft begins Monday at 6 p.m. On the ground, Simmons so good at short. Backhand throws in time to get Bregman for the final out. So the first time the Astros are retired in order. 1, 2, 3. We head to the 5th. Presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the sweet or spicy bacon barbecue cheeseburger combo for $4.99 for a limited time only. Beautiful night in downtown Houston, Texas, as we head to the top half of the fifth inning, and Blummer should be exciting for Astros fans as we see the Major League debut of Francis Martes.
Yes, it is. It is a good time to see Francis up here doing a good job. You can see he's pretty excited about it too. We've heard that first go around in the bullpen yesterday was a little exciting for him, got the adrenaline flowing late in that ball game in Kansas City. But you see the numbers that he has in AAA. But look at that ranking on the bottom as the Astros' #1 prospect and Major League Baseball's 15th prospect. So this guy's got high expectations. 21 years old, like Todd was telling us. He has a fastball averaging 96 miles an hour as a starter. Changeup comes in at 90 miles an hour, and he also has a slider.
So here we go. First pitch of his Major League career is a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that misses for ball one. Will not turn 22 until November 24th in the offseason. And there's a fastball and a swing and a miss. Luis Valbuena with a count of 1-1. Martes, the second youngest pitcher to appear in the major leagues this season. In the air to center field, Marisnick on the move at the warning track, at the wall, makes the catch against the fence. Jake Marisnick recording it out against Luis Valbuena on a very nice play.
Ex-teammate, we saw Luis Valbuena pointing out to center, and Jake going, nice play. I've seen you do that before. But he decided to test him on this. Says Francis Martes fastball. But a great read by Jake Marisnick out there in center field, recognizing that he still had a little bit of room in that area of Minute Maid Park. And I see you.
Now ball into left center again. Jake, a long run again. Jake, you not quite get there. One hops against the fence. Simmons to second base. Andrelton Simmons has the first hit against Francis Martes. He's a one-out runner on second.
That's the aggressiveness of Simmons ambushing a young kid going out there trying to throw strikes with the fastball. Fastball leap back to that inner third. Watching Simmons swing sometimes, and you wonder if he even sees the barrel get to the ball. His head is so far down in contact.
Hit that ball a long way, almost 400 feet into left center field. Here's Martin Maldonado. All fastballs so far. That one's at 96. Marisnick saved Martes, the first batter he faced. Those two were in the same trade coming over from the Miami Marlins. Marisnick, Colin Moran, and a competitive balance round A pick along with Francis Martes. For Jared Kozart, Kike Hernandez, and Austin Waits. That was the trade deadline move of 2014. 1-1 the count. Angels with 10 hits in the game as we play in the fifth. There's the first curveball we've seen, and that one bounces in there. It's 2-1. One of the challenges for Brian McCann is he did not catch a lot of Francis Martes this spring. Martes was with the big league team for a little while, but then was getting his work in, preparing for the Fresno season. That is up and in and hits Maldonado. So a one-out double, and now a hit batter.
Onside run. Maybe got a little bit of the armpit, a lot of jersey.
When you look at the numbers for Francis Martez this year, walks have been an issue. He really can dominate you with his stuff, but it's about throwing pitches for strikes. And he starts this at bat out to Eric Young Jr. with the ball outside, 1-0. There's a called strike, 1-1. Breaking ball, swing and miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good pitch from Martez, but I can't imagine the difficulty and the excitement of pitching for your first time in the big leagues. For a hitter, you can swing wildly your first at bat and kind of settle down after that. You have a chance to go in and take a breather. If you're a pitcher, you come in, or if you start a game, you've got to be good immediately. Really don't have much time as far as a learning curve to get things back in the strike zone.
The young right-hander from the Dominican Republic calls out the veteran catcher Brian McCann. Ahead 1-2.
This has got to be a tough conversation. Martez, 21 years old, pitching in the big leagues for the first time. It's a combination of this is the stuff I have, this is the stuff I'm comfortable with. Oh yeah, we've got a runner at second base and we got to know the signs. So there's a lot of going on in that conversation for Brian McCann. They do have those conversations beforehand, but he also has to understand how he feels coming out of the bullpen.
Off the plate, Martez will make the play himself, retiring Eric Young Jr. for the second out. Both runners advance 90 feet. Maldonado to second and Simmons to third.
Good pitch, creating soft contact with that chopper out in front. This is going to be in our super mode, but that is a bullet going to first base. Good play by Marwin. It's a good real-time look at it. He lets this one go. That's the hardest part here in sports. How do you slow the game down? And right now, as a rookie, I remember, that first AB, things were happening incredibly fast.
That's what I was thinking when you were talking about the meeting on the mound, because there's so much going through his head. Even if McCann and Martez went through the signs when a runner's at second base, he wanted just to make sure they were on the same page at that 1-2 count. 96 on the first pitch to Danny Espinosa, 1-0. Most of those games have been as a starter. Has appeared out of the bullpen 15 times in the minor leagues. It's not the first time he's come out of the bullpen, but it's still a little unusual for him. And it's 1-1.
And I wonder if AJ having him up twice, the first time around there were runners on base, and then we saw James Hoyt come in and face the top part of the lineup. AJ's looking ahead in innings, trying to see where he can get his pitcher in the best matchup. And if you've got a young right-hander, no matter how good he is, with Martez being the #1 prospect in the Astros organization, AJ still wants to put him in a situation where he knows he's going to have a better chance of succeeding. So this bottom part of the order for the Los Angeles Angels, AJ felt was a better matchup for Francis.
On the ground towards Altuve, and Francis Martez has a shutout first major league inning. A hit batter and a double. They are stranded. We're halfway home. It's 5-2 Angels.
winner of tonight's Chevy Stroll poll. Thanks for voting at Root Sports SW. That's where you can find our Chevy Stroll poll question. And tonight, along with the Star Wars night theme, we asked you which character is your all-time favorite. Yoda coming out the big winner tonight, guys. I'm sure we got a few write-ins too on Twitter.
Good answer, that is. Oh man, what happened to Orbit's head? He's got them Yoda ears working.
If you follow the Astros on Instagram, they had a Yoda snap, or what would you call it, a Yoda filter?
Oh, I
and
guess.
We were all taking selfies to make ourselves look like Yoda.
I did not see that. That's awesome.
That felt so cool.
So you are on Instagram as Yoda?
On the Astros Instagram, yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Another reason to follow the Astros on Instagram. Bottom half of the 5th inning, Norioki will lead things off. How'd it look, Julia?
My selfie?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to selfies. I have to do it 3 times.
I mean, you wouldn't have posted it if it didn't look.
No, I didn't even want. Well, I didn't really have a choice. It's not my Instagram.
Yeah, but they have to get your approval, I would hope, to throw to first. Oh, he retired.
I said yes to taking the photo, so.
There you go. So you were Yoda'd up.
I'm all Yoda'd up.
Nice.
That was fun. I'm guessing you do these filters for several different things, maybe? I don't know. Maybe they got their own filters today because they're the Astros and they can?
Sounds right. Star Wars night. Astros get things done. There's Jake Marisnick. He had an RBI base hit his first time up, but unfortunately, it ended the 2nd inning. But it made it 3-2 at the time. It's now 5-2 in favor of the visitors from Anaheim, California. We go by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
In the vicinity of Glendora.
In Orange County. 0-1 the count.
So if the Astros, if the Angels went from the California Angels to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in the vicinity of Southern California and Orange County, do the Texas Rangers when they go to their new ballpark, turn into the Dallas Rangers of Arlington? Or is that too deep?
I'm thinking it through. Yeah, they could be. They would be, I guess, right?
I guess if you're going to manipulate suburbs and big cities.
That would be a parallel. Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. The LA Angels, the California Angels, the Anaheim Angels, now the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Facing the Astros for the 3rd time this season, 2nd time here at Minute Maid Park. Astros have done very well against their brethren from the American League West. Houston at 20-6 against the AL West this year. That includes a 5-2 mark against the Angels. There are only 2 teams the Astros have a losing record against, and they won't see them the rest of the year. Cleveland and Kansas City. Those season series are done.
Uncle. I think we've seen enough of them.
I think Cleveland played very well against the Astros, and not to diminish what Kansas City did, but they also caught the Astros at a pretty good time. The bullpen that had been used up during the winning streak, and then Dallas Keuchel getting scratched right before a start. But to their credit, the Royals' credit, they did come back down 7-1 in that 2nd game of the series, which ended up being a 9-7 walk-off victory for KC, and they would win the season series 4-3. Full count to Marisnick, 1 out, nobody on. And a foul tip. Strikeout number 2 for Matt Shoemaker, 2 outs in the 5th. Shoemaker's looked pretty good tonight. He's now retired the last 8. The guy he hasn't retired tonight is the guy coming to the plate, Josh Reddick. So far, the Astros with 5 hits. Shoemaker has walked 1 and struck out 2. There's that split change that he likes so often. 1 ball and 1 strike. Throw that pitch more to lefties than he does righties. Usually throws it only when ahead. That time he got back in the count, down 1-0. On the ground towards Simmons. And a 1-2-3 inning once again. 9 straight retired by Matt Shoemaker. We are through 5. It's the Angels 5 and the Astros 2.
Rail the Angels, and lots of great fans in the ballpark tonight, including Tim Lala, who I'm with right now. He's with Biking for Baseball. Get this. He is road cycling to all 30 major league stadiums, and he has arrived in Houston. It's your 10th ballpark. I want to ask you your journey, though. Where did you start, and how did you get here?
So I started in Seattle. I caught the Mariners opening day on April 10th. I rode down the West Coast, so Bay Area, LA, San Diego, across the desert to Phoenix, up the Rocky Mountains to Denver, and then made my way down to Dallas, and now I'm here.
How many miles so far?
I just hit 4,000 when I entered Houston, so it's been a journey.
So how many miles will you end up cycling through this?
Assuming no wrong turns and assuming Google Maps isn't lying to me, it should be around 11,000.
Wow, okay, so which ballpark's next?
I make my way all the way to Atlanta next, so the next leg's a long one.
Oh my goodness. Well, Biking for Baseball is, we need to talk about what that's for. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, so Biking for Baseball, we work with a lot of youth mentorship programs. So Big Brothers, Big Sisters is our big one. In a bunch of these cities, we'll invite 20, 30 Big Brothers kids out. We'll play baseball with them during the day, and then we'll take them to the game at night. Now this year we started a scholarship fund for the Big Brothers Big Sisters called the B4B Little Scholarship. It's in honor of my dad. My dad's battled Parkinson's for 15 years, and he's still the biggest mentor in my life. So we kind of decided to start this scholarship, and the goal is to raise enough money to put a couple kids through college, and we'll fly them out to Chicago for the final game. It'll be a really cool event.
This is incredible. Well, how is Houston treating you?
Not gonna lie, Houston's been pulling out the works. The stadium's beautiful. To get to see the stadium with the roof off is even better, because I can tell. I've been told it gets pretty hot here. So to have this awesome night, and hopefully the Astros can pull one out here.
What's been your biggest challenge so far before I let you go? I know you said Seattle. You worked your way down the West Coast. Rocky Mountains in there. How was that even possible?
The weather has not been kind to me. I got rained on the entire West Coast. I actually caught the third ever rain out in Petco Park history in San Diego, so that was mind-blowing. Got snow in the Rockies, so the weather's really been against me, but it's just a mental game. You can fight through the weather, you just got to be able to fight through it mentally.
How can people follow along?
Bikingforbaseball.org. That's our website. It's got live tracking. You can make donations to the cause. You can find out where I'm riding to next. That's one of the best parts of the trip for me, is meeting all these new people. So I love to have people reach out and offer to meet up in the cities.
Well, congrats on what you're doing. Good luck the rest of the way, and enjoy the rest of the game.
Awesome. Thank you.
That was Tim, guys.
Cool. Julia, still there?
Yes.
How long is it going to take him to go from Houston to Atlanta?
How long will it take you to get from Houston to Atlanta?
I gave myself 10 days, so I think it's like 850 miles when I Google mapped it. But it's really tough riding because you're going through like Mississippi, Alabama, and they're not bike-friendly states. You know, no shoulders. Cars are whizzing by. So this is one of the stretches even though the mileage isn't as bad as some of the other legs, I'm really not looking forward to this next one.
Any close calls so far?
Not really, actually. It's funny because, I've had to ride on interstates, major state highways, and even though the cars are going by you really fast, I usually have a really big shoulder that I can kind of retreat.
So far,
yeah. Like I said, that kind of changes with this next leg. So it's going to take a little bit more planning on my part, I think.
Good luck with that, Todd.
10 days into Atlanta as Cameron Maybin has just stolen his 4th base of the night. Maybin comes off the DL and ties an Angels franchise record with his 4th steal.
I don't think he's done yet.
He walked as Francis Martez pitches his 2nd inning in the major leagues and now steals a base. That's a good story. Congrats to the Biking for Baseball Tour, and follow along and make your donations. That's a pretty big endeavor. Cole Calhoun, the batter, a couple of RBI hits tonight. 2-run scoring single, his 2nd time up, and an single RBI single his last time up. Astros will be heading to Atlanta July 2nd, but they will not take 10 days to get there. 1-1 the count to Calhoun. He fouls one off. It's 1-2. I'll put a damper on your schedule.
What, a 10-day ETA?
Miss a lot of the season.
He picked a tough time to be going through the South.
That's what I was thinking.
Middle of June. I mean, it's gorgeous tonight, but it's going to heat up.
Doesn't sound like a lot of biker-friendly states in between. Could be a tough leg. 1-2 the count.
Sounds like he's got the right frame of mind, though.
Yeah, you've got to have a joy for life to be able to do that. 11,000 miles on a bicycle. 4,000 in so far. Martez with a shutout inning in his 1st major league inning, now getting his 2nd inning of work. He can go as deep as needed, really. I mean, he's at 27 pitches right now. He was supposed to start the game Wednesday for Fresno at the AAA level. So now he's probably got a leash up till 80 or 90 pitches, you would think. 2-2 on the ground. That'll move the runner to 3rd. Altuve makes the play. Maybin to 3rd base with 1 out.
That'll be interesting to see how they handle Francis out there making that 1st appearance. Warm night, roof is open. Just to give you a little idea about context. 6 years old when Albert made his appearance in the big leagues.
And 2 when Carlos Beltran made his debut.
4 when I made mine.
Beltran in 98. Pitch is low for a ball, 1-0. That's a pretty big moment.
Well, it's really a credit to both guys. You've got a young talent in Martez up there trying to do his job, but you've also got a talent at the plate who's been able to do it for an extended amount of time.
Down the right field line, Reddick makes the play. Tagging is Maybin. Reddick's throw is not quite in time. McCann tried to make a sweep tag, and Maybin scores on the sac fly by Albert Pujols. That's his 44th run batted in of the year.
Tough play, good chance by Josh Reddick with that arm. But a tough angle for McCann to try and pick it and get the tag on Maybin. there's something good happened out of it. When that ball got past Brian McCann, did you see where the rookie was? Backing up home plate. Granted, there's nobody else that can advance on the base paths, but he was in the fundamentally sound position behind the catcher.
Good to see. Martez allows a run in his second major league inning. Listed in the media guide at 6 feet, 249 pounds. Pitched exclusively at Corpus Christi last year, 22 starts. And this year pitching for the Fresno Grizzlies. A curveball and 2-1 to count. It's a night he will remember forever. June 9th, 2017, 2 years after Carlos Correa hits his first major league home run to the day. And now it's 2-2. Is that his changeup?
Yeah, he's been throwing it 92 miles an hour. But 89, that's a good change off that 96 mile an hour heater. And again, you know, I was talking to Steve Sparks about Jason Vargas, who throws his fastball 84 to 86. And sometimes just a little bit of deviation in that velocity is what gets those hitters out in front.
How about that? The rookie quick pitch Escobar on a 2-2 count.
The modern day Johnny Cueto.
Now back to the normal delivery, and Escobar bounces one foul. Well, that showed a little moxie.
Yeah.
Second inning at the big league level, and you've got a veteran at the plate in Yunel Escobar. Like, I'm going to quick pitch him. Yeah, it's better for his changeup to be around 89 than it is around 92, because you need that separation.
Well, you overthrow it at 92. It flattens out a little bit too. Only a 4 mile an hour difference.
Pop up on the infield. Well, Martez is going to give up one hit and one run in, one walk and one run in the inning. Stolen base didn't help. It's now 6-2.
The 6th, and the Astros opening up this homestand after a 10-game, 11-day road trip where they went away from it 8-2. The guys obviously very happy with the record, but they were laughing about it as they talked to one another. They couldn't believe that that road trip started in Minnesota. That felt like so long ago. They said that there was a lot of different conversations of just the things that happened over the course of those 11 days, whether it was the crazy comebacks or the weather. They all had a different story to tell, but you guys were talking about Carlos Beltran earlier and how he he completely lost track of how many wins they had piled up at that point. They're just having a really good time right now, and I think that's good for this club as they show up to the park loose, ready to go. Doesn't matter what they did the day before, they're just ready to win that night.
Yeah, pretty cool. And we were talking earlier, Julie, about how Carlos Beltran clears his mind a lot of times, whether it's on a road trip or going back to records that were set as a 2004 Astro or 2007 Met.
Well, it's interesting to me because now that I'm retired, I can recall a lot more of my playing days, and I think that might be what is happening with Carlos Beltran. Is he gets so laser focused on what's happening currently that he hasn't had time to reflect on what has happened. And I'm sure someday he's going to look back and go, man, I played on some darn good teams in that Houston Astro uniform. Because we keep talking about that 2004 season he was a part of with a 12-game winning streak, the way they finished that season. His postseason is historic. His career is historic. So eventually someday there might be an opportunity, I'm sure, down the line to sit down and have a conversation with Carlos Beltran, and he'll be like, yeah, you know what? It was a pretty good run. And I do recall a lot of that. But what a lot of players recall are certain ABs and certain guys in those clubhouses.
This has been a great clubhouse from the start this spring at West Palm Beach. Carlos Beltran in the middle of so many conversations. Jose Altuve leading off the bottom half of the 6th inning. Astros down 6-2. Angels have scored in 5 of the 6 innings. Astros scoring 2 in the 2nd. Coming into this game, Altuve had good numbers against Shoemaker, 10 for 26 with 3 home runs, but tonight Shoemaker's had his number. That ball's hit into right field, and Cole Calhoun is there. Jose's now 0 for 3.
And now it's time for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Who deserves to start in Miami for the American League All-Star team at shortstop? Correa moved to third base in the WBC for Francisco Lindor to play shortstop, but I think the way the numbers are stacking up, and as well as Correa's played, might be garnering a couple more votes to earn himself a right to be that starting shortstop for the American League. A lot of it has to do with the Astro fans getting out there and voting for him.
That deficit of 180,000 votes was 350,000 difference after the first balloting came out. Then a week later, he cut that down by 170,000 votes, almost cut it in half. So Astros fans have been out there voting for their favorite shortstop.
Yes, they have. Astro fans have been doing a very good job, and that's where you can do it right there on that sign. Astros.com/vote.
I also remind you, behind the batter, catcher, and umpire, 2-0 the count to Carlos Correa, American League Player of the Month for the month of May. Someone took a little swipe out of part of the Astros.
That was the speed of Brian McCann.
That's where he put on the brakes. A little dust was flying.
Yeah, we'll say. A little vapor trail.
2-0 pitch and foul tip, 2-1. Well, Shoemaker has been in a roll right now. He's in the middle of retiring 10 straight. The last base runner for the Astros was Josh Reddick's leadoff double in the 3rd. And it's now 2-2 after falling behind Correa 2-0. Even though Shoemaker doesn't have a win here at Minute Maid Park, he has pitched well, coming in with a 3.16 ERA in this stadium. And he gets Correa. Strikeout number 3 for Shoemaker, 2 outs in the 6th. Well, here is the aforementioned Carlos Beltran. We'll be talking about this 2017 and Carlos Beltran for a long time. 43-18, by far the best record after 61 games. Sharply hit off the glove of Valbuena. Shoemaker covering in time, and that's now 12 in a row sent down by the Angel starter. We're through 6-2.
7th here at Minute Maid Park. Join us this Sunday for the Astros Foundation Picnic in the Park, presented by Pluckers. Enjoy a picnic-style buffet, games, and an autograph session on the field. Proceeds benefit youth baseball and softball in the Houston area. Visit astros.com/picnic or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more info.
All right, Julia, we head to the 7th inning. Major League debut continues for Francis Martez. You see that he has gone 2 innings so far, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 run. He's also hit a batter, facing Luis Valbuena for the 2nd time, and he sends one towards Alex Bregman, foul territory. Alex gets there in time for out number 1.
Good play.
I think with each inning, Francis Martez is getting a little more comfortable out there.
Yeah, I like this play. There's a mild shift on Luis Valbuena as a third baseman, especially here at Minute Maid Park, where the stands kind of get on you pretty quick. When you run that far internally, you're expecting the wall to be there, but it's not. That was a good play by him staying with that ball.
Here's the only batter who has a hit against Martez, and that is Andrelton Simmons. Takes one inside for a ball, 1-0. Simmons hit a double into left center field. He's 1 for 3. Astros starter Brad Peacock lasted 3 innings. James Hoyt pitched an inning. On the ground, diving effort. Bregman, it's under his glove, so Simmons has the only 2 hits allowed by Martez. He's a 1-out base runner in the 7th. Star Wars night and a full moon.
I'll tell you what, the camera guys are getting some good shots with this roof open this late.
Martin Maldonado was hit by a pitch. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Simmons with the 11th Angels hit. And a ball fouled out of play, 0-1.
Would you get on a rocket ship and go to the moon?
Yep.
You would?
Mm-hmm.
No issues with heights or zero gravity, huh?
I think it would be pretty cool.
It would be pretty cool. It's only, what, not too many people in the world that have ever said they've gone to the moon, so why not? Ante up. Group of new astronauts introduced at NASA the other day too. They like that opportunity.
Yeah, I got to get over there.
Oh my gosh, do you?
I finally have a little time off. Next road trip, Kevin Eschenfelder will be filling in. Astros heading to Oakland and Seattle, so I'll get to check out some sights and scenes around Houston as I continue to learn this city, having not been here for a number of years. Even though I was born here, do not remember much. 0-2 the count to Maldonado. And it's changed a little bit since the late 60s, early 70s.
A little more traffic.
There you go. That would be cool.
You know what's great is that you do go in there and they're tracking the International Space Station in there, and they actually have some video popping up that you guys can see. But if you know the right people, you can go in and see the original mission control. I believe it was Apollo 13 where they said, Houston, we have a problem.
Really?
And that, you talk about an eerie feeling.
We might have a problem here, Houston, as Martin Maldonado hits a home run over the wall in left field. That's a 2-run shot, and the Angels lead now 8-2 on Maldonado hitting his 5th home run of the year. Martez now has allowed 3 runs in his major league debut. Maldonado continues to be an Astros killer, coming in hitting over 400 against Houston. He's now 11 for 25. Here's Eric Young Jr. Bases cleared, 1 out. I think Maldonado got the curveball that he sent over the wall into left center field. Eric Young Jr. 1 for 3.
Maldonado's been pain.
Talking about a little more traffic in the city. I was thinking about that when Julia was doing the Biking for Baseball interview, because today, you might have been just as easy getting in on a bike than it was on the roads.
Might have been easier.
It was a tough commute day today. 0-2 to Young. And a swing and a miss. Martez gets a strikeout, and they should throw the baseball out, I would think. That's his first major league strikeout.
That'd be a good one to have. You see Brian McCann asking the home plate umpire for it as Martez throws it out. How about bouncing back? Pretty good composure by the 21-year-old after giving up the home run, focusing on that next hitter and getting the strikeout.
That's one he will remember. Eric Young Jr. first strikeout. It came in his third inning of work, and now he'll face Danny Espinosa. Martez has thrown 48 pitches, and even though he has allowed 3 runs in 3 innings, this may be one of those cases where A.J. Hinch asked him to go deep as he can, because this bullpen has really been used up lately.
No, I agree with you. I think that he's going to try and not push him, but he's going to try and see how far he can get Martez.
1-1 the count. AJ knows that the next off day won't come until Thursday of next week after the Rangers series, so he has to buckle up and hope his bullpen can get a little bit of a breather whenever they get a chance. Today, James Hoyt for 1, and the rest has been Martez. 2-1 the count. And the other issue you have is, even though he went into the 6th inning in his last start, one of your starters is David Paulino, who hasn't been able in his young career to go deep into games. And you know he's pitching Sunday, so you want to have some arms fresh there in case Paulino can't go deep. He did give him a very good start in his last outing in Kansas City, his best of his career. He's also been a guy in the past who has been right around the 4+ inning mark. 2-2 count to Danny Espinosa. Out of the plate.
Still reaching 96 with that fastball. It's good to see. I also like the pace he works at too. He grabs that baseball, jumps on that rubber, and is ready to go.
Hasn't shown any fear. He attacks hitters. Actually quick pitched. Yunel Escobar works off that first base side of the rubber. Espinosa stays alive. It's 2-2. 8 starts this year at AAA Fresno for Francis. He was called up when Ramin Gudwan was sent out after Gudwan pitched in back-to-back games on that last road trip. Astros needed an extra arm for that series in Kansas City. Here he is making his debut tonight. That's away. It's 3-2.
You know what I do find appealing about Francis Martez is that this is his debut, and he's thrown 3 pitches, 3 legitimate pitches too. Obviously having a little bit of a command issue, sometimes getting a little excited with that 95, 96 mile an hour fastball, but he has still been able to throw the slider when he wants to, throw the changeup when he wants to, which has been good to see.
Gets a strikeout to end the inning, so he strikes out Eric Young Jr. and Danny Espinosa back-to-back to end the 7th. But the Angels tack on 2 more. It's 8-2.
leading 8-2 over the Houston Astros as we head into the bottom of the 7th inning. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever with great picture quality and a free at-bat premium subscription so you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit out MLB.com or .TV for details.
We head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Astros opening up a 9-game homestand tonight. The Astros opened up a 10-game road trip at Target Field in Minnesota, down by 6 heading to the 8th. Well, they're down by 6 heading into the 7th tonight, and Brian McCann will lead things off. They won that game on Memorial Day in Minnesota 16-8, scoring 11 in the 8th inning. It's a team that can put up runs in bunches. Matt Shoemaker, though, has been very good, and he starts out Brian McCann with a strike. It's 0-1. Shoemaker has retired 12 in a row.
It has been a low-stress evening for Matt Shoemaker.
Pitched against the Astros on May 7th in Anaheim and allowed 5 runs in 6 innings. When he pitched here at Minute Maid Park earlier this year, he went 7 innings and allowed 2 runs. He's pitching in the 7th inning tonight. He's allowed 2 runs. Ahead of McCann, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Of the 5 hits allowed by Shoemaker, 3 came in the 2nd inning when the Astros scored 2 runs. Just foul. Big crowd tonight, Minute Maid Park Friday night, big and bright Friday nights. 40,786 showed up for the opener of this weekend series.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that would be a dangerous seat on a Friday night. When it gets big and bright, you're going to be right next to those fireworks.
They do move people out of those sections, I believe, as they get ready for the fireworks show. Pretty much everybody near that left field corner gets moved around for better viewing and for safety purposes. 2-2 down to Brian McCann. McCann scored a run his first time up on a very nice evasive move at home plate. What could have been an inning-ending double play. And he hits one hard, but pulled into the crowd. Stays 2-2.
Got the head of the bat out quick on that one. Beautiful downtown Houston.
Tomorrow, 3:10 games. Sunday will be a 1:10 game. Plenty of opportunities to see baseball and enjoy downtown Houston. There's a pop-up just beyond the infield. Andrelton Simmons puts it away for out number 1. Shoemaker's pitch count still in pretty good order in the 7th inning, just at 82 pitches. Guy coming in, averaging over 17 pitches per inning. But he has been efficient tonight. Marlins hit the ball hard, single in the 2nd, and a line drive on a nice play by the left fielder Eric Young Jr. Astros fans coming in big numbers tonight, over 40,000. Haven't had a ton to cheer about tonight. They did get to witness Francis Martez's major league debut, but the 2 run-scoring plays, one was almost an inning-ending double play, and the other one also resulted in the final out of the inning. So it hasn't been like a prolonged rally where these fans can really get loose and enjoy themselves. They're still having a good time, but in terms of action on the field, not a lot to cheer about as Astros fans, as it's 8-2 Angels in the 7th.
And they may be a little desensitized and spoiled in the sense that on that road trip, the Astros were putting up magnificent numbers offensively. And it's tough to expect them to go out there and do that on a nightly basis.
On the ground, Marwin Gonzalez having a nice night coming back from the injury. He's 2 for 3, has hit the ball hard in every at bat.
Showing no signs of discomfort coming back. Got a good grip on that barrel. He's hit a couple of rockets up the middle the other way. This one pulling it through the 4-hole.
We've mentioned the road home splits before, and they're even a greater difference now with the Astros scoring 8.5 runs per game on that last 10-game trip. Here's Alex Bregman with 1 out and a runner on first base. Tonight is the 31st home game of the year for Houston, and including their 2 runs tonight, they scored 133 runs. Bregman bidding for more down the left field line. This ball is gone. Home run, Alex Bregman. The 2 train has just left Union Station, and the Astros get 2 of them back. It's now 8-4.
You ask and you shall receive, Todd. Look, Alex Bregman sent some of the doldrums of this Astros offense, put it on his back and turned on it. And it always seems like there's a little bit of an ignition when these guys get a big hit. Then other guys fall in line. Good job, head down, barrel on it, launch through it. There was no doubt about the distance. It was just a matter of whether or not it was going to stay fair. It would be great to see this young man get that power stroke going.
Bregman hit 3 on the recent road trip. Hits his 7th of the season. And what was a 6-run game is now 4.
17 straight games with the home run for the Houston Astros.
1 shy of the team record set in 2000. The Astros 4 different times this year have come back from 5 runs or more, including that aforementioned game on Memorial Day in Minnesota. Here's Norioki, 0 for 2 today. Strike, 0-1. Nagy, the pitching coach, have to have a word with Shoemaker before this at bat. David Hernandez, first bullpen action of the night, starts to throw for the Angels. 1-1 to count.
Alex Bregman, 101 miles an hour off the bat. 37-degree to launch angle equals 400 feet.
Pretty high launch angle.
And looking at the hit probability, it says 34%. I wish that if I had to be nitpicky about the analytics and some of these exit velocities and launch angles, I wish they would make the appropriate call and adjust it to left field, center field, or right field. Because a 400-foot ball hit to the left field in any ballpark in the big leagues is a home run. So the hit probability for me on that was 100%.
Yeah, they just go launch angle, exit velocity anywhere on the field.
Yes.
And that one obviously was pulled down the line. Good to see the power stroke from Alex Bregman. He went a long time before his first home run this year. In fact, he was 37 games in without a home run. Now he has 7 in the last 25 games. Slice the other way. Aoki with a 2-2 count. 7th inning has been magical for the Astros this year.
That's one way of putting it. You cannot fall asleep on these guys. You can't leave the ballpark. You got to stay tuned in because you don't know if you're going to miss something or not. Big numbers late in ball games. That's against some good bullpens.
Including this inning, they're outscoring their opposition 45-18 in the 7th. Into center, Maben is there. And Aoki is 0 for 3 tonight. So 2 outs. Marisnick, the batter. Jake with an RBI single his first time up. He's 1 for 2.
See Matt Shoemaker fish-eyeing the Angels dugout as Maldonado got done with his conversation. Usually those conversations are get that bullpen loosened up and ready to go. And as Maldonado was walking back, Matt Shoemaker takes a peek in at Mike Scioscia kind of sideways going, is he coming to get me?
Facing Marisnick for the third time. Jake fouls one back. Well, Shoemaker this season has pitched 7 innings once. The only other time he pitched 7 innings was right here against the Astros at Minute Maid Park on April 20th. Astros won that game 2-0. Excuse me, 2-1. He left with the Astros leading 2-0. They're trying to go 7 innings for the second time this year. Both of them here at Minute Maid Park. He's ahead of Marisnick, 0-2. Check swing, stays alive. Jose Alvarez, the lefty, has begun to throw, so maybe that conference on the mound wasn't a stall tactic for this hitter, but a stall tactic for Josh Reddick on deck. As Alvarez may face Reddick if Marisnick gets on. No chase, 1-2. Astros with 2 in the second, 2 in the 7th. Angels have scored in every run, every inning but the 5th, at least one. They also have 2 in the second, 2 in the 7th. Good battle by Jake, down to the count, stays 1-2. Marisnick getting a start tonight in center field. George Springer getting the night off. Josh Reddick, the leadoff hitter. And Shoemaker gets Marisnick for the final out. 4 strikeouts for Matt Shoemaker.
Alex Bregman cutting into that lead with a bomb down that left field line. It's on Cameron Maybin, having himself a historic night as far as the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim are concerned. He has stolen 4 bases. Also been on a couple of times, but tying a franchise record with those 4 stolen bases in one game.
4 steals, and he scored 4 runs. 3 hits and a walk. Astros wouldn't have minded seeing the original lineup tonight, which did not include Cameron Maybin. He was a late addition for Mike Scioscia, and one of the best moves he's made all year. 3 other guys for the Angels in their history with 4 steals in a game. Devon White in 1989 stole 3, or excuse me, stole 4 in a game. Luis Polonia.
I was hoping you were going to say Gary Pettis.
I wish. Chad Curtis III.
Devo played against Devon White.
He can go get the ball, couldn't he?
Man, just gracefully too.
Didn't look like he was using much effort.
Yeah, there was no max effort in that guy. He just made everything look easy.
Francis Martin.
Sorry, he smoked one off my left foot in Dodger Stadium during a day game. Never saw it.
Really?
Yeah, one of the worst feelings I've ever had on a baseball field.
So, line drive off the bat, you've never saw.
Never saw it. Dodger Stadium, if you remember, has those pastel seats. And during the day, it's kind of tough to see there. Everything's really bright. And I had a pair of sunglasses on, and I hear crack. And I froze because I never saw the ball, and I felt it hit my left foot as it went into left field.
That was almost a similar play right there.
It really was.
Line drive caught by Bregman. So you don't move, and it hits you on the foot.
Yeah. You got to get used to some high exit velocity at third base, but he was hitting left-handed, so it kind of came off the bat funny, and I just heard crack, and then ow! And I turned around, and the ball was in left field. Yeah, I went into panic mode after that.
Man. And Dodger Stadium, I've heard, can be tough. Those seats they used to be yellow. They're kind of like
it's kind of like that, like a pastel-y,
egg white
yeah.
almost. Like in between yellow and white now. It's faded over the years. Here's Cole Calhoun. 1-0 to Cal. Calhoun with 2 hits and 4 at-bats. And now it's 1-1. What have you seen out of Francis Martez tonight in his big league debut?
I'm seeing a guy who works at a good rate. Looks like a fun guy to play behind because he grabs the baseball, gets on the mound, and goes. Also see a 21-year-old who's, I know he's given up 3 runs. One of them was a home run to Maldonado, but he almost looks like he's settling in. But I love the fact, again, that he has 3 pitches. We heard about the 3 pitches before he got here, but the ability to come into this big league ball game now and show all 3 of those pitches. I think there are signs of life and sign of that prospect label that he has.
Yeah, he has to me, he has a little presence, which you don't always see in a major league debut.
Well, we talk about body language, and he's not one of those guys that grabs the baseball and starts wandering around the mound, kind of going, oh my gosh, I've got to throw the next pitch. He grabs the baseball, he gets on the mound, he goes, okay, let's go. And I love the fact that he bounced back after that home run he gave up to Maldonado and punched out the next 2 guys. So there are flashes of brilliance in there. You're going to have bumps. You're going to have a couple of hiccups. But I'm sure Brent Strom has taken some pretty good notes, and he's going to work with this young man while he's here.
Number 15 overall prospect on MLB.com.
That pitch right there, 3-1, down and away, fastball, 95 miles an hour. That's another thing. We haven't seen a dip in the velocity. May have gotten a little bit of a call off the edge, but still a very good pitch in a hitter's count. Can he repeat? And I'm sure that's what a lot of Brent Strom is looking at, is can he repeat the mechanics? Can he repeat the location?
Not on that pitch as he misses down and in for ball 4. So Martez is a little frustrated, and Brian McCann will go out and talk to the youngster. 1-out walk. That is the 2nd walk issued by Martez. He's also hit a batter. It's a warm night here in Houston with the roof open. Brent Strom taking notes, watching his youngster.
There's nobody getting loose in that bullpen. And I'm sure Brian McCann out there settling the young man down. Did you like the light show? Still going right now. Everybody flashing their phone flashlights. See it behind there. Actually, I think the first time I ever saw it was in Anaheim. And I much prefer this over the wave. Can't stand the wave.
Yeah, the wave still surfaces every once in a while. Usually when fans are really bored.
And that's exactly how I felt as a player.
Ball gets away from McCann on the pitch to Pujols. Over to second goes Calhoun. That'll go as a wild pitch. There you see all-time leaders and runs batted in. Mel Ott is just 3 away. Pujols with a sac fly, RBI. His last time up that made it a 6-2 game. There's a strike. Martez so far 3 1/3 innings. 3 hits, 2 walks, a hit batter, and 3 runs. One of those 3 hits a home run. Two and 1 to count. When Pujols got to 600 home runs, of the 9 players that have reached 600 home runs, he was the 4th youngest. Youngest ever was Alex Rodriguez, followed by Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron.
Is that your fantasy team? Be a good one.
That would be a good one. I like the group he's in with 600 homers and 600 doubles.
It's amazing, those numbers. It's one thing to play for a long time. It's being able to produce.
Albert got there, 600 home runs, 37 years old, 138 days old. And that was last Saturday. Full count, Martez facing Pujols with a runner on second and 1 out.
Here's number 600 against the Minnesota Twins. It's also a grand slam. Monumental blast, putting him into elite company.
First one of the 9 to hit a grand slam for number 600. Pretty nice way to do it in style. At home, bases loaded. On the ground, Correa to his left, nice range, and he gets Pujols. On the play, Calhoun moves to third.
Good play by Carlos. Watch the glove. See how the glove was going back towards the middle part of the infield. Watch the glove come forward. That is because the young man recognized the hop and went and got it. That was a beautiful play by Carlos Correa. Not easy to do when you're in a full sprint going to your left and still be able to read that hop. Nicely done.
You know, we talk so much about his offense. He wins Player of the Month in the month of May. His defense this year has been really good.
It has. And I can't discount the fact that he's doing it at 6'4" and a legit 220. I mean, that is a large human being moving around pretty well.
A lot of times other guys get more attention defensively because they make the flashy plays, and the guy in the other dugout may be the lead candidate for that, Andrelton Simmons. But Correa's made a lot of real good plays this year and seems to make all the routine ones. Yuniel Escobar, the batter. 2-0 the count. Tony Sipp has been warming in the Astros bullpen. Francis Martez is at 76 pitches right now. So this potentially could be his last inning. There's a strike. It's 2-1. There's the lefty Tony Sipp. Brad Peacock started the game, went 3 innings. James Hoyt for an inning, and now Martez trying to get through 4. On the ground up the middle, and that's a base hit. So the Angels with another run. They have now scored in 7 of the 8 innings, and they lead it 9-4. And that will be the last batter that Francis Martez faces in his major league debut. 3 2/3 innings. So far, he's allowed 4 runs. He is responsible for the runner on base. See kind of hand he gets leaving. Martez, June 9th, 2017. Be a day he always remembers. As he leaves the game, we'll tell you about the new Astros reliever when we come back. Angels leading 9-4. The Astros and the Rangers will face off again at Minute Maid Park from June 12th through the 14th. For only $99, you can purchase a ticket package for all 3 games with a chance to win signed memorabilia and batting practice passes for the June 14th game. Here's what you do. You visit Astros.com/beatTheRangers to get your tickets. Astros have won 6 of the 7 games this year against the Texas Rangers. Quite a turnaround from last year when Texas went 15-4 in the season series. New pitcher Tony Sipp.
Last time Tony was out there was in Kansas City. Went an inning, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, had 1 strikeout through 26 pitches. Here you see his numbers listed. Right-handers having a tough time with him.
Facing Luis Valbuena. Called strike, 0-1. Angels with a relentless attack tonight, similar to what we've seen over the course of 61 games with the Houston Astros, where they keep tacking on runs. That ball's towards short with Correa in the shift on the second base side. He makes the play, and that'll do it. Let the Angels score another and lead at 9-4. on a beautiful Friday evening. Roof is open here for the first game of this 3-game series. Angels leading the Astros 9-4 for the second time this year. Matt Shoemaker goes 7 innings, both times coming here against the Astros at Minute Maid Park. And he will turn the ball over here in the 8th inning to the right-hander David Hernandez.
Good numbers for David Hernandez. He throws extremely hard in the mid-90s. He has a power slider he throws in there at 88 miles an hour. Also has a curveball. Another ex-teammate, ex-Diamondback teammate. Did a good job for the Diamondbacks in 2011 on their way to winning the National League West.
31-year-old, acquired from the Braves on April 24th for cash. Hey, it's Josh Reddick leading off an inning. That's usually a good thing. Has been tonight, single and a double. Has been over the course of the year as well, with an average over 500. On base average over 500. So when you clinch as a Diamondback, is it automatic if you're home you have to go in the pool?
Not automatic, but you better not be a visiting team and do that.
Oh, 1 pitch is away. It's 1-1.
Some guys did, though. I stayed back and enjoyed the champagne. Thought that was the veteran move.
I'm good, guys. You go and have fun.
No, seriously, I'll be right here keeping my eye on things.
Yeah. The Astros will be in Arizona this year, August 14th and 15th. After a weekend series in Arlington, they'll play the Diamondbacks 2 here, and then the Diamondbacks come here on Wednesday and Thursday that week. Reddick in the right field. Calhoun on the track. Puts it away for out number 1. Josh Reddick making the bid, but he's out number 1 in the 8th. I'm going to bring up Jose Altuve. Altuve looking for his first hit tonight, 0 for 3, including a double play ground out his first time up. Hernandez pitching in back-to-back games, pitched the final game against the Tigers. Won the count. Maben puts it away. Altuve now 0 for 4. We mentioned the Astros home road splits. They have scored 4 tonight, and they are averaging a little more than 4 runs a game at home. But there is a big discrepancy. Tonight is game 31 at home, so that's now 135 runs scored at home in 31 games. Same number of games on the road, 206 runs scored.
Whoa.
71 more.
That's not a blip on the radar. That was a massive difference. Wow.
The road numbers are phenomenal. 206 runs in 31 games. The home numbers have been a little closer to league average, and the Astros are anything but that this year offensively. On the road, they're averaging 6.5 runs per game, 6.5 runs a game. There's a ball smashed towards third, diving stop by Escobar, and he robs Carlos Correa of a hit down the line. Escobar, a nice play to end the inning. So we head to the 9th. The Angels are leading by the score of 9-4.
Minute Maid Park, Angels leading 9-4 over the Houston Astros. And time now for our pitching performance powered by Kubota. Last night, Astros needed a big start out of Lance McCullers, and they got it. Young man stepped up, continuing to grow into that ace form that he has in that right arm. It was good to see him go 7 strong. The fastball, the curveball, the changeup are working. Pitched 7 innings strong. Pushed back that bullpen a little bit and helped the Astros get that last win on that road trip to encourage a happy flight home.
Hey, he's been fun to watch this year. American League Pitcher of the month of May. Had a little bit of blip down in Texas against the Rangers, but right back at it last night. Had a no-hitter going for 6 1/3 innings. For a Lorenzo Cain triple. First pitch from Sip in the 9th inning is a 2-hopper to Carlos Correa, who guns down Andrelton Simmons to lead off the ninth. Julia?
Well, McCann has certainly been impressed with the young pitcher guys. He's said a lot over the season of just the breaking ball being so good, but last night he was talking about that start specifically, saying that he has dominant stuff. He's a dominant pitcher, but he's looking more and more like an all-star or like a Cy Young Award winner. This is a guy that's caught a lot of great pitchers in his time, so he's definitely one to know what he's looking at.
Yeah, very complimentary. McCann always says the right thing to the media, always pumping up his pitchers. Lance was really, really good last night. For a while there, it looked like he might have a chance to throw a no-hitter, and you would think at some point in his career that's going to happen.
Yes, he has no-hit type stuff. He also has swing and miss type stuff, and that I think is what encourages the fact that he might be able to pull it off one of these days. But the swing and miss stuff for me, in combination with what we've seen recently with him pitching to contact and getting so many ground balls, might allow him to be efficient enough to get through a no-hitter.
You know, the other thing too, a lot of people were thinking, well, why take him out 91 pitches in 7 innings? His last 2 innings were his toughest innings. He threw 18 and then 19 pitches in the 6th and the 7th. And the reality is the Astros want Lance to be good all the way through the season. They don't want him to get to a threshold in September or October, which is so far beyond where he's been before, and injuries curtailing his season last year, where he is feeling any sort of fatigue in what should be the most important games of the year for the Astros.
So true.
So AJ making sure 91 pitches, even though the game was tied at that point and Lance had still looked pretty dominant, he wanted to get him out of there. I don't think you're going to see Lance be a guy who throws 110 or 115 pitches. He kind of joked with AJ about that before the game.
Yep.
Lance knew the bullpen was in dire need of a long start, and he said, hey, AJ, I got 150 pitches in me tonight. AJ's like, no.
You probably do, but I'm not going to let you.
And then Lance goes, how about 115? AJ said, no.
Turns into a negotiation.
On the ground to Altuve, ended up being 91. Altuve makes the play, 2 outs. But yes, it has been fun to watch Lance McCullers pitch every 5 days, and if you're doing the math, looking ahead, you should see Lance McCullers pitch here on Tuesday night against the Rangers.
I think it's interesting. It gives you a little insight into Lance McCullers' brain too. It's that comment of 150 pitches is a little tongue-in-cheek and trying to have a little bit of fun with AJ, but at the same time, I'm sure if AJ said, okay, let's go, you know Lance is going to go out there and push it to 150 pitches. He's not going to back down.
There's no doubt he's in great shape, and physically he could get it done, but they want to make sure they don't overtax that arm for sure. Ball kind of died on the infield as there was a grounder towards Correa. He stays with it. So Tony Sip comes in and gets all 4 batters he faces all on groundouts. Astros coming up in the bottom half of the 9th inning, and they will have Beltran, McCann, and Marwin Gonzalez to up. presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. You're just tuning in and wondering who number 58 is on the Astros mound tonight. Major League debut of Francis Martez, and he goes 4 innings, 3 2/3 to be exact. Tony Sipp got the last out of the 8th. 3 2/3 innings, 4 runs allowed. Martez struck out a couple of batters, but worked from the 5th inning until 2 outs in the 8th. Sipp got the last 4 outs. And now we head to the bottom half of the 9th inning of a 9-4 game. And it's the lefty Jose Alvarez.
See his numbers against the Astros since 2016. In those 11 games, they have a high average against him, but not able to push those runs across to increase that ERA. Fastball, changeup, slider, curve, the occasional cutter from Jose Alvarez.
So he'll face Carlos Beltran to lead off the 9th. Beltran sees a fastball and fouls it away. Carlos batting right-handed for the first time. Still looking for that first right-handed home run this year. All 8 this season, and the last 2 of 2016 with the Rangers were left-handed. In the air to center. Maben's going to have a play on this. And there's 1 out in the 9th inning. Astros and Angels do it again tomorrow at 3:10. We'll be on the air with our pregame show at 2:30. Mike Fiers will be on the mound for Houston. He'll be opposed by Ricky Nolasco. And then Sunday a 1:10 start. Pregame show at 12:30. David Paulino against Jesse Chavez. So all right-handers in this series for both sides. McCann getting a chance to face a lefty, and he's done well against lefties this year. Pitch away for a ball. It's 1-0. McCann coming into this game batting .272 overall. Against lefties, he's hitting .323, 10 for 31. 4 of his 8 home runs, exactly half, have come against left-handed pitching.
Just recently off Jason Vargas.
Pretty well hit, but into the shift. Danny Espinosa makes the play. And the Astros are down to their final out. Don't forget, coming up after the game, it'll be the Astros post-game show. Kevin Eschenfelder, Mike Stanton will host. They will take a look at tomorrow's start from Mike Fiers. Also discuss the Major League debut of the Astros #1 prospect, Francis Martez. And we will hear from A.J. Hinch and others in the Astros clubhouse. Julie Morales will gather interviews. Evan Gattis will get into this game as a pinch hitter for Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin went 2 for 3 in his return back, and Evan sees 1 pitch and has a base hit tonight. Well, Gattis with a pinch hit single into right center.
Gattis and Gurriel see the least pitches on this Astros team, and there you see Evan Gattis going after that first pitch and getting it.
Yeah, his contact rate has really gone up this year, so he's swinging and putting the ball in play a lot. Here's Alex Bregman, fresh off a 2-run home run deep down the left field line. And a called strike, 0-1. Chop towards Simmons. He makes the flip to second to get Gattis for the force, and that'll do it. On a night where the Angels scored in 7 of the 9 innings, they led from the start and never trailed in this game. And the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim win the opener.